The Rock Lobsters are hot on a lobster roll from the weekend, having turned the speakers down on the Zydeco for 3 straight games. With the raucous and crowds and celebrations, it was a trifecta of wins here in Akins Ford Arena that we will not forget. But now the dreaded River Dragons come back into town, and they're breathing fire mad after dropping 2 bad losses in bingo, and not to mention their bus breaking down on the way here. Can the Rock Lobsters throw some water from the tank on their fire, or will they serve up lobster tail with clarified butter? Good evening, Crustacean Nation, and welcome to your view of Akins Ford Arena in Athens, Georgia, where the Columbus River Dragons take on your Athens Rock Lobsters. This is Matt Rad, and today I'm joined by Bryce Gobert here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Whether you're watching on our official YouTube stream or listening on 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU, if you're tuning in on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, like the stream, and ring the bell to stay updated with exclusive interviews, highlights, and more. We kick things off with the Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show, and as you can see, the players are out on the ice as we start our pregame show. A little bit of a different feel than we usually have, but with the long delay that was experienced because of the travel issues experienced by the Columbus River Dragons, I was told by Columbus commentator Tom Callahan that the suspension of the River Dragon bus had started to rub on the wheels. They had to stop or potentially burst some of those tires. Meanwhile, Akins Ford sent out some vehicles for them to collect the River Dragons and bring them here to Akins Ford Arena. As we were talking about, the Rock Lobsters are coming off a dominant weekend sweep of the Baton Rouge Zydeco, capped off by a 3-0 victory on Pucks and Paws Day. The star of the show, none other than Dominique Rodriguez, who earned his first professional shutout, stopping all 25 shots he faced in just his second professional game. It took nearly half the game to break the deadlock, but Malik Johnson cleaned up a rebound to give Athens the lead. Late in the third, Philip Virgili batted a backhander through the 5-hole to add some insurance, and Orca Weisblatt sealed the win with an empty netter after forcing a turnover at center ice. That win improved the Rock Lobsters to a stellar 22-4-2 record, good for 59 points, and set the stage for tonight's heavyweight showdown. A win tonight against Columbus not only stretches them closer toward the top of the Continental Division, but also puts some serious distance between these fierce rivals. When Athens and Columbus meet, it's more than just a game, it's a statement of Georgia hockey. The River Dragons are one of the few teams that can match the Rock Lobsters' physicality and pace, and tonight's clash could very well be a preview of what's to come in the postseason. For Columbus, keep an eye on Justin McDonald as we start out our Fan Saves Impact Players segment. He's been the River Dragons' go-to weapon this season with a knack for finding space in tight areas and making Athens pay when given the chance. For the Rock Lobsters, their Fan Saves Impact player is Malik Johnson, who is coming off a second-star performance with a goal and an assist last game against Baton Rouge. He's really grown in influence in this Rock Lobster team since his loan to the ECHL's South Carolina Stingrays. He can also be a danger on the penalty kill, as he's one of only 3 Rock Lobsters to score a shorthanded goal this season. Our Fan Saves Impact Player segment is brought to you by Fan Saves. Download the Fan Saves app now and follow the Athens Rock Lobsters for digital coupons. Now we take a look at the Akins Ford starting lineup. Starting out in the cage tonight is newly named FPHL Goaltender of the month of January, Josh Rosenswag. In front of him is a pair of Captain Carter Shinkarik and Riley Robertson. A starting forward line of Daniil Glukaryov, Garrett Milan, and Orca Weisblatt. The team physician provided by Piedmont Athens Regional is Dr. Alec Graff. The Athens Rock Lobster starting lineup is brought to you by Akins Ford. If you're going to make a deal on a new Ford truck, why not deal with the biggest and best Ford dealership in the Peach State? That wraps up our Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show. Piedmont, real change lives here. The Peach State Showdown is coming up after this commercial break. Rock Lobsters versus the River Dragons live late night in Athens. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about my future in the game.
but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. We're almost ready to get started here for tonight's Wednesday night game, the only game in the FPHL. So if you're not watching this one, what are you doing? Of course, there is a lot in the YouTube stream tonight. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Hart County High School with the duties of performing the national anthem tonight. A beautiful rendition of the national anthem by Hart County High School Band. A special shout out to the band director, Alan Tolbert, who is celebrating his 25th year as band director. We've also got some shout outs per request on the chat. A shout out to Jeff Herrick's wife, Tracy, and also a shout out to Matt Groover's wife, Amanda. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. WGAU and W254CJ Athens, 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU. Mattine Rad joined by Bryce Gobert. And Bryce, it's always fun when you have an in-state rivalry to call a game on.
Yeah, there's no better feeling you get to, as a player, and getting to play in this game. You know they're rivals. You know they're just down the road, and it's all about bragging rights. And for Athens, with how hot they have been, and for Columbus, how it hasn't been going their way, Athens wants to win this one and keep that winning streak alive, where Columbus is looking to get back on the right track.
Yeah, of course, a very, very difficult stretch in Binghamton for the River Dragons, having lost Game 1 11-4 against the top team in the Empire Division and then falling 5-1. The Athens Rock Lobsters are hoping that they can continue to twist the dagger here on the River Dragons after having given them a 1-0 loss in the shootout back on January 25th. Garrett Milan drifts into the face-off circle, and he's able to win the draw. Rock Lobsters working through the left side. Daniil Glukarov on the center line finds Garrett Milan, who goes with speed, and a blocker save from Sammy Bernard, who is celebrating his 31st birthday today. Garrett Milan with another chance in the left circle, swatted away by Carter Shinkarik, but straight into the path of Jemayev. Jemayev has a pass on the left side, but it's unable to be clean toward Austin Doe, and the River Dragons have committed the offside.
I like the quick start there from Milan there. Able to work his way through the defense. Test Bernard early. Gave Athens a great look just 15 seconds into this one.
Garrett Milan knows all about a very quick start. He has scored first in 5 different games this season. Face-off right in front of the Rock Lobster bench. Milan swats it off, banked to Robertson on the right side. Clever backhand pass to find Weisblatt up the right side. Poked by Robertson towards Milan. Pinballing around the left circle. Creative backhanded attempt from Justin Somero appears on the right side for the River Dragons. Good pressure here from the Columbus team. Pass doesn't go to plan, though, and Milan's able to get it into neutral ice, maybe doing more. Weisblatt with Glukarov on the far side! Weisblatt to Glukarov, and with a minute of play gone, the Rock Lobsters have scored first, and things have gone from bad to worse for Columbus.
That goal all started from an errant pass in the Rock Lobsters neutral zone, or defensive zone, excuse me. Milan couldn't control it cleanly, and I believe it was Weisblatt who brought it forward. And all it took was one shot. Bernard not in the position he needed to be in. And Athens just 59 seconds in, a 1-goal advantage.
Many will remember the start that Daniil Glukarov had to his FPHL career, where he really found it difficult to translate to the North American game, and that feels like a long distant pass now with Daniil Glukarov just 2 games removed from a 2-goal performance and a highlight reel goal. He takes a perfect feed from Weisblatt, and then the River Dragons with an immediate answer off of the faceoff. Kyle Moore feeds it through the legs of Rosenzweig. And we've got a 2-goal game within just the first minute, 20 seconds.
It only took 20 seconds for Columbus to respond, Mateen. And what was a beautiful move from Kyle Moore, able to get some good stick handling in front, find himself all alone with only the goalie to beat, and he did just that, going 5-hole. If it keeps up like this, Mateen, we're in for a fun one here in Athens tonight.
The River Dragons finding a way to defeat the FPHL goaltender of the month for January, something that they couldn't do 2 games ago for the River Dragons. As Rosenzweig stopped every shot that he saw in Columbus, Glukarov has the puck once again, looking dangerous. Weisblatt at a tight angle finds Milan behind the net. It drifts into the near side. You have to think that maybe the defense's legs are looking a little bit laggy thus far with the late start. Rock Lobsters having to just wait around, but look at Orca Weisblatt. He's not waiting around for anything. Drifts into the offensive zone, looks at Carter Shinkaruk. Carter Shinkaruk, cross-crease pass. Great pass to Daniil Glukaryov, who's already looking to score his second, but covering up is Bernard to try and stomp out the fire.
Great pass there from Shinkaruk. We've seen it from him all season, what he's been able to do for this Athens team. A great feed across the crease to an open man in the slot, a great scoring opportunity, but a better save there from Sammy Bernard.
Sammy Bernard, a big boy at 6'5", and he's able to use that big frame to potentially intimidate anyone who's bearing in on his goal. A line of Picard, Alden, and Portillo out for the Rock Lobsters. But it's Jemayev who wins it for the River Dragons. Working out of their own zone, Doherty with a one-touch pass into neutral ice, and he has it back as the Rock Lobsters try to dig that puck deeper in. The River Dragons playing with fire out of their own area. They tried to send one the length of the ice. Matt Garcia intercepts it on the right side of the neutral zone. Tips in behind. Portillo tries to cast a spell on that puck. A great feed to the slot. Picard with a shot that misses wide left. Important interception on the right circle there from Jemayev. Jemayev out of his side of the ice. Pass toward the center. Appears on the right here. Doherty. And Rosenzweig was able to watch that one the whole way into his glove. Just about 3 minutes gone in this first period, and we're having trouble even catching our breath here, Bryce.
Yeah, it's been a fast start. Athens looking really fresh on the offensive side. A lot of good opportunities. Only 3 shots on goal so far, but have really had the better scoring opportunities in this one.
Here comes that danger weapon for the River Dragons, Justin McDonald. He's unable to win the faceoff here. Carter Shinkaruk using his signature speed to get the puck out. Weisblatt, who's already affected this game, had the assist, the primary assist. Might have a secondary assist here as this snap shot from Carter Shinkaruk goes off the blocker of Bernard and into the netting. Bryce, it feels like the Rock Lobsters are using kind of that long bus ride for Columbus to their advantage. We're really seeing the difference in speed right now.
Yeah, whenever you're just sitting on that bus waiting for the vans to come pick you up, there's not much that you can do, and they tried to stay fresh, but with Athens being here all day and waiting, they do look like the fresher team right now.
Puck needs to be rescued there by Milan. Off the faceoff, Shinkaruk at an awkward angle finds Glukaryov. Good 1-2 pass between them. Looking for the deflection was Shinkaruk. Garrett Milan was waiting at the doorstep. Riley Robertson with a quick smack back towards Milan. Puck is loose in the corner. One back by the Rock Lobsters in the right circle, but Glukaryov couldn't find a passing partner. Look at the hit there from Weisblatt on Dunford.
Would not want to be on the receiving end of that one.
That's for sure. Weisblatt has had a very, very good pace to his play ever since coming back from his surgery. And, of course, heavily inspired by his brother Ozzy, who recently made his NHL debut for the Nashville Predators. Better zone entry here. Galvin out to the right for Storjahan, who's coming off a bad flu from what I've heard. His pass doesn't go to plan. Philip Virgili takes it in. Puts the defender on skates. A great feed to the right for Malik Johnson, who just lost it on the blade of his stick. Michael Greco makes Slehetka pay in the corner. Storjahan dumps it in. Rosenzweig with a play on the blade of his stick. Sends it up the right side. Gallant can't get a touch to it. Stopped by Slehetka at the blue line. Oh, my goodness, what a save there from Rosenzweig on the shot from Somero. Greco trying to send the danger far away, and thanks to the misplay there from Slehetka at the line, he'll be able to do that. And then Storjahan is intercepted by Malik Johnson. It just doesn't fall favorably for Malik the Marvel. Rosenzweig helps it with the glove to his right for Matt Garcia, those two roommates. Oh, my God, Bryce, they were roommates. Oh, look at here. Brandon Picard on the right side. Takes a hit from Dunford in behind. He was able to absorb a lot of that pressure, though. Alden back to Garcia, the right side of the blue line. Picard with a tip. Brandon Reller getting creative. Puts it between his legs, trying to bank it off the back end of Sammy Bernard. That one almost found Brian Moore. who was back with the River Dragons today. Brandon Reller, oh my God! What a rocket from Brandon Reller, who flows into the zone just like his long blonde hair and makes it 2-1.
What a shot from Brandon Reller. Had to wait for Picard to get onside. Picard straddling the line. Reller elected to take it on goal himself, fired it right over the left shoulder of Bernard, and gives Athens the 1-goal advantage here with 14.5 remaining in the first period.
Bryce, it was one of those shots where if you were a betting man, you'd probably thought that it wasn't going in, but Brandon Reller with a heat-seeking missile that goes into the top shelf behind Bernard. But look at the River Dragons again, once again trying to quickly equalize. Do they have that chance here? Ryan Hunter gets blocked out from a close distance. And look, it's Daniil Glukharov who's wheeling and dealing into the River Dragon zone, having good vibes through his veins after opening up the scoring here. Milan trying to poke that away from McDonald. McDonald able to protect the puck in the River Dragons zone for the time being. Moore up the right side for Hunter, who's been a dangerous River Dragon all season long, was looking for the top shelf. Rosenzweig was able to stand tie and make the save, and the helmet comes off of Rosenzweig there. That'll stop play with 13:42 in the first period left. We'll come back after this, a commercial break. Rock Lobsters lead 2-1 through the first 6+ minutes.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Bryce, both teams back on the ice. They're going to take a face-off to the left of Rosenzweig. We'll talk a little bit about how we thought that long bus ride for Columbus was going to affect this game, and the Rock Lobsters having laid in wait for this game to start. Waiting for the green light from the referees to resume play, and here we go. Rock Lobsters able to win the draw. Kolatarsi from behind Rosenzweig's net, backhands it into the zone. Reller, who scored the Rock Lobsters second with a great chase, wins it off of the captain, Underwood. Picard tries to get it back to Reller. What a feed in front. Justin Portillo hungry for his first Rock Lobster goal. It's not going to happen right now. Puck a long ways away, no icing, says the linesman. Matt Garcia with speed from behind Rosenzweig's net. Garcia into the right-hand corner. Dunford takes a big hit from Garcia. Justin Portillo, having been a close distance away from that hit, must be proud of the much younger Garcia. Rather whiffs on the initial shot, but him, along with Kaysen Gallant, putting pressure on the River Dragons. Kaysen Gallant has really showcased his stick handling skills as of late. Michael Greco, the former River Dragon, with a shot that gets deflected off the glass in the right hand corner. Lind able to deflate some of this Rock Lobster pressure. Puck being pinned to the near side boards. It comes out into the neutral ice for Nolan Slehetka. Doherty with a touch in. Storjahan with a great shot. Glove save from Rosenzweig. The rebound was available there for Brian Moore to score his first goal back for Columbus, but he'll have to wait as well. Kyle Russell took a spill. Not sure if that was River Dragon caused. Ooh, Moore with a mistake. Gallant gets it back, fires it towards the slot, narrowly evades Philip Virgili. Virgili with a good poke check, but Jemayev gets it back to Slahetka. River Dragons just not finding the zone entries very easily in the early going tonight. The one exception is the goal they scored. Let's see what the Rock Lobsters can do here. It's this line that made life uncomfortable for the River Dragons at the very beginning of this game. Looks like we've got a penalty going here against the River Dragons. Making his return to the team is Brian Moore, but he'll sit in timeout for 2 minutes, and the Rock Lobsters will have the game's first power play.
Didn't see where the interference was, Mateen, but with how Athens is playing so far to start out this game, they just look like the faster team, and it truly does look like the travel delays and everything that Columbus may have had to deal with might be starting to catch up with them, and that's not due to their own fault, and just trying to find a way to battle out of this small slump that they're in. Starting off this way, it's a tough uphill battle they're facing.
Rock Lobsters on the Paloma Park power play, the quadruple P. If they score, they will earn $3 tacos at 24 hours at Paloma Park. Carter Shinkarik, Garrett Milan to the right side. Philip Virgili wheeling away from behind the net to the right side, finds the exchange with Garrett Milan, who was unable to get a touch of it on his stick. Carter Shinkarik unable to stop that from leaking into neutral ice. But look at the skating ability there from Carter Shinkarik as he emerges on the left side, is able to evade the check of Underwood, thought about the shot, thought better of it. Carter Shinkarik, the quarterback of this Rock Lobster power play, but a fantastic poke check from Storjahan, is able to get that puck away from the danger area. Quickly put back in, though, by Kaysen Gallant. Weisblatt on the left circle, back to Carter Shinkarik at the blue line. Weisblatt with an exchange with him. Shinkarik to Milan on the right side. Up the flank for Virgili. Milan hassled by two, still finds the pass to Captain Fantastic. Kaysen Gallant, pad save necessary there from Sammy Bernard. No other Rock Lobster has more power play goals than Kaysen Gallant this year. He takes a check in from behind, though, and that pushes the puck back towards the center ice. No offside there. Garrett Milan with a snapshot. Sammy Bernard stands tall. No offside. Kolatarsi with a body block at the blue line. He's here with a chase. Anderson gets it behind them. Oh, what a hit! Former teammates Ryan Galvin and Michael Greco collide, and Greco gets the better of him. Here's Greco again. Sent up high towards Bernard, who grasps it with a glove. Nothing cooking for the Rock Lobsters on the power play just yet. There's 19 seconds to go. Let's see if they can log another one and take a multi-goal lead, their first of the evening. We'll be back after this commercial break. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. A Wednesday night game here in the Classic City. Mateen Rad and Bryce Gobert. And wow, we are turning our necks like a tennis match right now, Bryce.
Yeah, it's back and forth action, but the the Rock Lobsters have just been on fire here through the first 10 and a half minutes. It's just been a constant pressure. And Columbus really has had no answer outside of that first goal where they had a man open in front, able to beat Rosenzweig 5-hole. But outside of that opportunity, Athens has just been relentless and have not let up the pressure, and I expect it to continue here with another 19 seconds remaining on this power play.
Yeah, still some time to make something happen on the power play. Picard with Johnson and Glukaryov, Greco and Kolatarsi in behind. But a good start from the River Dragons as they win the faceoff. And then Lind will send it long. Both teams back at even strength now. Picard up the left, sends it east to west towards Glukarioff. Pass doesn't come off. McDonald. Backhand pass gets cut out by Glukarioff. Tricky puck that takes multiple deflections and then emerges on the left side. A shot there from Kyle Moore. Moore having his brother come back to the team. Must be a feel-good atmosphere for him right now. Justin Portillo trying to win that back, and there's an infraction that's seen here. Looks like there's too many men on the ice.
I believe that's going against the Rock Lobsters.
Steve Martinson will have to choose who will serve this 2-minute infraction. It will be Brandon Reller.
You know, Mateen, not to pat myself on the back, but in my 5 years of hockey, I was the denoted penalty server if there was an extra 2 and 10 or too many men on the ice.
Penalty server, so like you brought the guys drinks while they were waiting in the penalty box?
You know, if that's what you want to imagine it to be, yeah.
Garrett Milan with a face-off to the right of Rosenzweig's net, going up against Jermayev. River Dragon with a big face-off win here as they are on the power play. The Rock Lobsters on a Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Lynn's shot gets deflected by the skate of Riley Robertson out to the right. Orca Weisblatt with a good interception. Gets the puck out of his side of the ice, but Storjahan re-enters. Rosenzweig gets a stop on it, makes sure that it doesn't wheel around the rink, and then Carter Shinkarik sends it back out. Picked up on the left by Sleheka of the neutral ice. Jemayev right off the lobster. Trying to dance in, and Orca Weisblatt read it the whole way.
Good penalty kill here so far for Athens. Get a fresh 4 guys on the ice, defend the final minute 15.
45 seconds gone on this man advantage for the River Dragons. How about Lind with the skating and passing to find Hunter in the high slot. Meanwhile, Kyle Moore finds Storjahan on the right side. Moore right to the right of Rosenzweig's net. Tries a tight angle shot, but you're not going to trick Rosie that easily.
Right place, right time for Rosenzweig. Huddled up on that near left post. Makes the easy stop, covers it up, gets a whistle.
As we said earlier, Josh Rosenzweig, the newly named FPHL goaltender of the month of January. Garrett Milan, the FPHL player of the month for January. Too many men penalty, half done with thus far. Let's see if the Rock Lobsters can remain unscathed on it. Anderson. Quick passing, but McDonald can only find the Rock Lobsters' number 4, Kolatarsi, who sends a stick in the back of Hunter. Underwood, the captain, drop pass for Kyle Moore. Malik Johnson tries to poke it off of him, but Moore still has it. Sends a dangerous backhand toward the crease of Rosenzweig. Believe that one misses wide right. Here's Hunter again. Kyle Moore into the high slot. Malik Johnson takes it off him. Rock Lobsters have enough numbers forward to make something happen. Malik Johnson with a shot pad save. Bernard make that 2 for the price of 1. Virgili with an effort as well.
Good shorthanded opportunity there for Athens and Malik Johnson.
Well, you have to say, Bryce, probably the best opportunity of that Columbus power play fell for the Rock Lobsters, but meanwhile, Storjahan forces a swave on Rosenzweig. No icing, say the officials, but Picard wins it. Storjahan away from Alden. Doherty evades the hip check of Robertson, trying the toe drag. Was Storjahan. Riley Robertson makes a play on it, breaks it up. Picard with a dump into the corner. Glukarioff tries to make the read in behind Ryan Galvin. Rock Lobsters with some great forechecking pressure in this game. They have really made the River Dragons play on their heels through the first 14 minutes. Puck sent long and high. Shinkarik makes a play with the glove. Kyle Russell in behind him. Russell with a pass off the skate of Brian Moore. Brian Moore takes it through the skates of Russell. Tries to send a dangerous pass. I think he floated that one over the net. What a play-making attempt there from Brian Moore, Bryce.
Yeah, he gave it a good effort. Nice couple of moves to get in close, threw one over the net. And they were threatening. But again, Rosenzweig up to the challenge after allowing that first goal on the first shot that he faced. Has saved every single one since.
Shots on goal tally even at 9 apiece. Rock Lobsters with a 2-1 edge. We've got some longer interviews today, so stay tuned with us during the intermission. We've got Coach's Corner, a 19-minute long Coach's Corner with head coach Steve Martinson, and a special treat during the second intermission with UGA broadcaster Ren Grimsley. Garrett Milan trying to trouble Jemayev. Rock Lobsters letting the River Dragons play on their own half of the ice a little bit here. It has been constant pressure otherwise. Milan then steps on the gas, and then Lukaryev was able to come away with that puck, but then was unable to bring it with him the rest of the way. But Orca Weisblatt has been so good with takeaways in the neutral zone. We saw that result in his empty net goal to send the dagger in the back of Baton Rouge in that 3-0 game on Sunday. Underwood looking for a route, but the Rock Lobsters are making him feel uncomfortable behind his goaltender's net. Dump in from the River Dragons. Rosenzweig confidently backhands it to Shinkarik. Almost doesn't work out for the Rock Lobsters. Virgili got himself into a dangerous area to make sure the danger wasn't coming from the River Dragons, and he causes a little danger himself. Wrist shot save from Bernard.
Good save there from Bernard, but that play was all from Malik Johnson. Did a good job of skating that puck from his own end all the way into the attacking zone and caused a little bit of chaos in front for Bernard, but he was able to stop it.
Columbus has been the sloppier team, but they're still only behind 1 goal. Let's see if they could potentially even it up before we go into the first intermission. We got a commercial break here. Rock Lobsters up 2-1 with 4:08 left in the first.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. That was our Terrapin ad. Terrapin, do the right thing always. And there are multiple fans who are doing the right thing tonight here at Akins Ford Arena as you check out the Terrapin Can Cam. The Rock Lobsters, along with Akins Ford Arena this past weekend, showed that the Rock Lobsters games here in the Classic City is the go-to party here in Athens. Some already record-breaking attendances for the Rock Lobsters in that 3-game set, and trying to take some of that energy into these next 2 Wednesday night games. They've done a good job of it thus far, Bryce.
Yeah, they have. They've been looking really good on the attack defensively. Couple of hiccups, but overall have also looked solid. And Rosenzweig in net has done his job perfectly.
Rosenzweig, just that 1 blotch on his record in this game thus far, letting up that goal 5-hole. He doesn't have to face a shot there as Slehecka's effort gets deflected to the left. Ooh, don't even think that was intentional. Just a hit from Robertson as Underwood kind of drifted his way on the right offensive side for Columbus, and then Slehecka with a shot challenging Rosenzweig, and that one pinballs around the crease.
That one might have hit off the goalpost there, Mateen. I don't think he knew where that puck was after that shot came through.
There definitely seemed to be some confusion in the body language of Josh Rosenzweig. The Rock Lobsters not trying to take any chances, trying to do everything they can to get it out. Shinkarik thinks about chasing it, but it's picked up on the defensive side of the ice by Columbus through Scott Doherty. A big boy himself at 6'5".
Fans here at Akins Ford Arena showing their displeasure with the Columbus River Dragons' patience in their setup.
And of course, Bryce, it's just home fans being home fans, but I think you have to give Columbus some credit here as we see Ryan Galvin on the right side. We'll talk about what they've gone through lately as Scott Doherty creates a pad save from Josh Rosenzweig with a snapshot.
This is a Columbus team that doesn't even have their own head coach on the bench tonight.
Yeah, Jerome Bouchard experiencing some illness, so the head coach for Columbus tonight is actually Hunter Bersani. Reller looking for his second. Did the dangle right, but they didn't stick. Breaks on him.
Great move there from Reller. Just had his twig fail on him. Not much he could have done about that, but a great opportunity created by him.
Already looking like some dead legs here for Columbus, and when you think about the bus problems that they've had today and the fact that they're coming off a road trip to Binghamton, New York, no doubt travel has been the bane of their existence as of late. It'll all be worth it for them if they're able to eke out the win as Slehetka has a shot from the left circle, and swallowing that one up into his solar plexus was Rosenzweig.
Minute 51 remaining. Both teams with 10 shots on net. Have to give, like you mentioned, Columbus a lot of credit. This Athens attack, as we've mentioned so far through this first frame, has been relentless. But Columbus has not backed down on their attack, have had a couple of great scoring opportunities, and are just going to try and find another way to beat Rosenzweig.
Shots on goal, even at 10 apiece, but it feels like the Rock Lobsters have had the higher percentage opportunities. Greco's the first to the biscuit off of the faceoff. Turnaround up the right side. Kason Gallant puts a stop to that momentum with his skate. Virgili enters on the right side, thinks about taking it to the net himself, is down to a knee, and as he's surrounded by two Columbus River Dragons, he has to surrender the puck. Anderson through the left, dumped in on the tip by Austin Doe. Lind right in front of the penalty box is a great pass towards Hunter. Ryan Hunter, 25 points in 21 games this year. A very, very impressive campaign for Hunter, and he didn't really even play a lot of the opening parts of the season. 448 people tuning in to the stream tonight. That might be a record. A special thank you to everyone who is tuning in to the Athens Rock Lobster Network tonight. You guys all had some kind words to say to me on the Athens Rock Lobster fan page after Sunday's game. And I also want to say that that was taken to heart, and it is really appreciated. You guys have already become quickly like family.
It's well-deserved, my team. Very well-deserved.
Thank you, my friend. It means the world. Puck loose out in the corner. Riley Robertson up the right boards. He'll take it as Milan helps it onto the blade of his stick. Daniil Glukaryov. He has looked like a Russian machine as of late. He finds Riley Robertson in the crease. A great route ran by Riley Robertson, almost looking like a tight end there.
A great route ran, but a better save by Bernard, as it's been for a couple times this first period. Glukaryov found the open man after whiffing on his original pass, still able to create that opportunity, and almost gave Athens a 2-goal lead heading into the intermission.
McDonald able to turn with the faceoff and find Underwood, the River Dragon captain. Hunter backhands it towards Slehetka. Milan almost gets a touch to it. Good opening here from McDonald. Carter Shinkarik with a stick work there to make sure that that puck goes flying into the netting.
Good opportunity there for Justin McDonald, the 34-year-old from Ontario. At this point for Columbus, you're just trying to throw shots on net. Make Rosenzweig as uncomfortable as you can, and just hope that you can maybe get an awkward bounce off of his pads. But he has done a good job tonight of making sure that he controls everything that comes his way.
The weakness for Rosenzweig through the early parts of the season have been the rebounds. He's led up. That one's off the iron. Does that one trickle in? No, it doesn't. Somehow Rosenzweig keeps it out with the help of Milan and Greco. some more heroics from Rosenzweig and the Rock Lobsters, just as we're talking about something that he's really worked on is his ability to stop giving up some of the rebounds that he let up in the early part of the season. That has been a big reason for his recent success, Bryce.
Yeah, and a couple Columbus players there celebrating, thinking that puck went in. I'm not quite sure how it didn't go in, Mateen. That puck, I think, bounced off the post, and Rosenzweig just kind of, by reaction, reached behind him or kind of fell backwards and able to get a stoppage and a whistle. Athens very lucky to still be holding on to a 1-goal advantage.
It feels like there's two goaltenders in the Rock Lobster crease right now, Rosenzweig and the Iron, as it's already played its part in keeping the River Dragons out here. A pad save on the shot from Hunter Rosenzweig. Feels like he almost feels it leak through his quads, but he's able once again to squeeze his upper legs and keep that puck where it is.
Yeah, had a nice job on the backside by Greco. Saw that puck was possibly trickling underneath of Rosenzweig as Rosenzweig gets up a little bit gingerly there.
Now Rosenzweig looks like he's almost trying to test out either his foot, and he seems assuring towards Michael Greco that he's okay. 11 seconds left in this first period. A reminder that Coach's Corner coming up in the first intermission. Slahecka's shot gets deflected to the left side of Rosenzweig's net. A River Dragon was there to try and poke it through, but it's going to get pinned here on this near side and end all the action in this first period. And what action there was through the first 5.5 minutes of this game. Daniil Glukaryov, with 59 seconds gone off the clock, was able to take a beautiful feed from Orko Weisblatt to open the scoring at 1. Kyle Moore, with just 20 seconds after the opening goal from the Rock Lobsters, ties it up at 1 apiece, putting it through the 5-hole of Rosenzweig. And then Brandon Reller with the rocket in the top shelf at the 5:34 mark to make it a 2-1 game. You're watching the only game in the FPHL tonight, and I had a chance to talk with Rock Lobster head coach, as I do every week. Here's my talk with head coach Steve Martinson.
Back with another episode of Coach's Corner with head coach Steve Martinson. The team is coming off a very memorable weekend. Greek night, Stick It to Cancer, and Pucks and Paws. Akins Ford Arena stayed packed, and in the meantime, the team logged a best possible outcome of 9 points in 3 games against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Coach Marty, there's so many positives to take out of that series, but for you, out of the amazing crowds, the 9 points earned, and then the level of performance that the team brought to the ice, what were the biggest points of pride for you?
Well, I think you're right. We started out with, getting the wins was the number one, get them in regulation. And then, I thought we played physical. We played offensive. We showed we have skill. And, we hit, especially Sunday. Sunday I thought was our best game. But I thought we were physical. And I thought, we're always working on our speed, showing more speed, and it's something that we're working on. And we have the speed, but I don't think we always use it the way we could. But yeah, it was a great crowd. Players love playing in front of that kind of, fans. Just packed it in, and it was a fun weekend.
The score lines of the 3 wins, 4-1, 6-2, 3-0. It might have made it seem like we were dominant for every second of those performances, but both Friday and Saturday, it was the Zydeco who took the lead and held it for some time. Were there tweaks that you made as those games went on, or did your team just continue to find its groove?
Well, Sunday, they got a little bit of a different maybe pregame talk than they thought we were going to get because, you look at the score, 4-1, 6-2, but, we gave up scoring chances on Saturday night, and Josh was our best player on Saturday night, hands down. And we just handed them scoring. We just handed them, breakaways. They get a 2-on-1 and we turn it into a breakaway. Really bad defensive play and kind of boneheaded mistakes that we made. And I was just tired of watching it and tired of seeing those kind of opportunities that we just hand them. And then I thought, Sunday we really played much smarter, much more dialed in. We held them to 20 shots and we outshot them 2-1. Our power play I don't think was great, but we that's a work in progress. But I thought Sunday was a much more enjoyable game to watch from the bench, even though, we weren't scoring at the pace that I thought we would. We were getting chances and they just weren't going in. But, it's the old, I think we've been getting good goaltending against us. And then we just stuck with the game plan and it started to pay off.
I have to agree with you about Sunday. I think personally it was the best all-around defensive effort I've seen from the team this season. Did you feel the same way? And did you also feel that, how big those games felt with the crowd, that the energy throughout those 3 games with everybody that was in the audience, it really helped the team focus and maybe mitigate some of those individual errors that me and you talked about the last time that we had spoken?
Well, I mean, so when you get that big of a crowd, players start thinking about goals. You know what I mean? And what I call it is you're thinking about the big thing. The big thing is winning, and the big thing is scoring. And the little things add up to the big things. And so I thought that's what we were concerned with. It's a big crowd. I want to win. I want to help the team by scoring. And that isn't the way it works. You start out, you build on the little things, and all the little things add up to the big thing, which is the goal, which is then scoring more than the other team, being better defensively and winning the game. So I'm going to bring up Gallant. There's 2 plays, on the first goal. We talk about, knowing what you're doing off of faceoffs, and they'll let you interfere more in this league than the NHL. And so he gets a pick, and maybe you don't see this when you're watching it, from up above, but it's a lot easier for me when I slow things down but I'm looking because I know the defenseman had a lot of time at the point, and I'm like, okay, what did we do there? Did we do what we're supposed to do? And sure enough, Gallant gets a really good pick, and then we get traffic to the net. So the defenseman then gets the shot through, and Malik's right there, and I think Phil was right there too. And it's really textbook, that's the way you win in the zone. And then the other play, I thought that same thing, Gallant, he's carrying the puck. And what we want to do is we want to beat the defenseman all day. If we can beat him wide, we're going to beat him, and beat him on the play and beat him on the rush. And everybody likes to do that. It's the funnest way to score is scoring on the rush. We work on it, but it's not something that you do all the time. So, he tries to beat the guy, doesn't beat him, but he puts the puck in the corner. One of the things we talk about is put it in and go run the D. And he hits them with all 180 pounds of him and just knocks them down. And, we get possession of the puck back. It goes to the point. And same thing, he's got time at the point now, and he gets a good shot on the net, and we have traffic at the net, and we get a deflection and a goal. And those are things that we work on all the time. And you love to see it when it pays off because, like I said, everybody remembers the highlight reel goals. You think of some of the goals that Milan has scored and, some of those rushes and plays. So it was great to see those kind of goals that pay off from all the little things that add up to the big thing.
We have a lot of positives to talk about, and I'll ask about Kaysen even more a little bit later. And there weren't many negatives to take out of the series at all, but I think it was almost kind of strange how the Zydeco were able to execute shorthanded. 2 of their 3 goals came shorthanded, and it was interesting because otherwise they found it very difficult to execute offensively in every other area of their game. How do you explain that?
Well, it's really simple. Is we made a mistake and gave them great scoring chances. So, one of them is I think they had a couple of, breakaways against our power play. And, what's happening there is we're forcing plays and we're not reading where they make the mistake. And it's something that we need to spend a little bit more time on video and really getting everybody on the same page and understanding when their forwards get in a certain position, we have to move the puck in the different areas that we're moving in. So, the one, I think one was a 2-on-1 shorthanded, and it turned into a breakaway. We misplayed a couple of 2-on-1s that we gave them breakaways. One they scored on and one they didn't. But it was some bad defensive play, and so it's always tough when the other team scores more than your power play, which is frustrating. But I think it was even on Saturday night, and I'm not sure if I can't remember going back to Friday, but. You want to have a positive on the plus on the power play for sure, but it's something that we can correct. But we've got to read what they're doing and not force pucks into areas where you're going to have a turnover or a likelihood of a turnover.
You kind of have like two sets of 4 games in a couple weeks. You have Baton Rouge, that 3-game set coming into Wednesday against Columbus. And then you have the same thing next week, Columbus, and then 3 games against Danville. In our last talk, you had told me that things were different with your goaltenders since Bostet left, and that you'll now ride the hot hand into every next game. And I know it's a good situation to be in, but where does that leave you right now with Rosenzweig having given up just 3 goals in his last 3 games, and then Dominique Rodriguez coming off a shutout in what was just his second professional game?
Yeah, I mean, those are good problems to have. Dom played because, it's hard to play a goalie 3-3, and then he stepped in and had a great game. And I don't think he saw the same kind of scoring advantages that Rosie saw on Saturday night, and that's why I want to be careful. I don't want to take anything away from him, but we played a much solider defensive game and didn't rely on our goaltending as much as we did the first 2 games.
One of the moments that didn't end up on the score sheet, in the later stages of the first period in the Sunday game, Milan has a breakaway and he's tripped in the slot. The puck ends up in the net, allowing it seemed like something that never crossed the officials' minds. We see on the feed that you and Millsy have some pretty animated conversations. What are you saying? Keep it clean if you can. What are they saying? And ultimately, why do you think it didn't count?
Well, what I was trying to clarify, and I don't agree with this at all, the league has it this year that only coaches can ask for replay, which is wrong. That's just flat out wrong. Referees should be able to ask for replays, and they can't see everything. And to assume that they don't care if it's a goal, to me, is a bad assumption. I do believe that they care, but right now, everything is left to the coaches. So I wanted to know, number one, why were they not allowing it to be a goal? Why were they not counting it so that I could decide whether I wanted to challenge? And I can't challenge. So if you challenge and they rule it against you, you're a man short. So, every challenge is up to the coaches, which is just flat out wrong, like I said. So what I wanted to know was, why were they not counting it as a goal? Were they counting it because it was goalie interference? Well, it's not goalie interference because their guy tripped our guy. And so they told me under no circumstances is that a goal. Now, I'm still dealing with that play. It's funny that you asked because I asked the league, and I'm going to give you an example. If Gallant is shooting the puck and their defenseman knocks Milan into the goalie and we score, it's still a goal. It's a goal. And so to me, it's the same thing is, okay, Milan's shot, he got tripped. That trip propelled him into the goalie. I don't know. We still don't know if the goal was in before or after. Could have been on the shot. It all happened so fast. To me, it didn't matter because he was pushed into the goalie by their player. Puck ends up in the net before any whistle. And then they'll talk about, well, the play is actually dead when the referee, not so much when the referee blows the whistle, but when the referee declares it dead. Well, there wasn't enough time to declare the play dead. It was a split. It was a shot, a trip, and into the goalie, all in 1 second. So I still contend that the goal was good, and that's something that you can check back with me the next game to see if I've clarified it with everybody, because I believe that the goal should have counted, and it's something that I'm trying to get cleaned up, with the league in case it ever happens again. But just like you, inquiring minds want to know. I want to know why they could say, and I want to know in the rules where it says that it's not a goal, because I don't agree with it. And me, like I tell the refs, I'm always right even when I'm wrong.
Well, I think that's a situation where you are right. It'll be interesting to see if we get an update there. We all know how dangerous of a force Justin Portillo can be with a check or when he drops the gloves, and we know how much of a fan favorite he is right now. But to give Portsy credit, I think he really did a good job this weekend affecting the game offensively. He logged an assist, and I think it's palpable right now how badly he wants to score his first goal with the club. What did you make of the weekend that Ports had?
Yeah, I thought he was much more. Well, he's always physical, but I thought he was making some more plays. And in the tighter games, he hasn't played as much as some of the other guys. And so it was an opportunity for him to get in there. And like I said, he's got great speed. He had a couple of good shots and certainly had the forechecking and the hitting, along with everybody else. I mean, Reller, everybody stepped up their game. I thought Sunday was a really physical game, but, Portillo leads that, game. We've got a couple of guys that, the usual suspects. Greco is always at the top. I mean, he's an intimidating guy to play against. And the more that teams play against him in our division, and I'm not trying to steer this away from Ports, but everybody knows Ports. Not everybody knows Greco, and it's getting around that you better be careful when you come down to his lane, because if he gets a chance to put you on the ground, he's going to do it, and he's going to do it as hard as he can. And it turned out that the guy that he laid out at the end of the game the other night was running his mouth by our bench. And Karma, there's a thing about Karma gets his way around. But, going back to Ports, I mean, we want to have that. That's our style. We're going to play a heavy game. We want to be heavy. We want to be offensive, and we want to be hard to play against. So Ports is always kind of leading the charge with that respect.
You brought up Reller, and you brought up, too, like the effort that you're seeing from the guys lately. Is the current health and fitness of the team right now really contributing to that? Because guys know now that, hey, if I don't play well tonight, I could be the healthy scratch next game. Are you seeing that effort from the guys right now?
Yeah, and you really don't want that to be the reason that you're motivating them. You want it to be because they're all buying, they're all pulling on the rope. And the way that I like to coach is, by the end of the year, all I'm doing is walking in and giving them the lineup. You know what I mean? By the end of the year, the pregame talks, everybody knows exactly what they expect of each other, and everybody knows what everybody's strengths are. And the less I have to say then, the better, because we're just running on recall and knowing exactly what everybody's supposed to be doing. So some of the young guys, they're not consistent. I mean, even some of the older guys. I mean, consistency, and that's one of the things that I've had a lot of success, and I know that the success is directly correlated to your glue players. Glue players are guys that consistently play the same way game in and game out. You know exactly what you're getting from them, but the trick to that is your glue players have to be not just your bottom players. Oftentimes, third-line guys are glue players because that's how they stay in the lineup. They get pucks out, they get pucks in, they do the little things right, but you don't win championships if your top guys aren't your glue guys, and so that's what we have here, and we're working. We're always working to improve it. We're always working to make it better. But I think there's things that are going to get a lot better with the talent that we have. Our power play is going to be 25% at some point. We're just getting that. Getting everybody on the same page. I know that that's coming, but that's where we want to be consistent. From a coach, players want to play with players that are consistent. Guys don't want to play with a guy that's, one night he's the best player, one night he's the best shift, and then it disappears. They don't, you don't win with those guys. Those guys are team killers. They're always skill guys. They're always power play guys. And eventually, they cheat, and they, other players see this guy's getting the power play time, and all he cares about scoring. So the coach is BSing us. He doesn't really care about all the little things. He just wants us to score goals. So it's critical that your top guys lead by example, and I think we're doing a real good job with that.
Kason Gallant, he's a top 10 goal scorer in the league right now. No Rock Lobster has scored more power play goals this season. And for me, he was so brave and electric with his stick handling this weekend. And I also think he's added a lot more intangibles in his game, things that don't show up on the score sheet. I know you can't always be aware of what guys are doing before and after practice, but are you in tune at all with what kind of work Kason is putting in?
Well, like today, I saw him out. I saw him out this morning, 20 minutes before practice, working on his stick handling, working on with pucks and the stick handling, and I don't miss that stuff. But he's definitely our most improved player, and he was a pretty good player to start. But he's worked on all the little things that, like I said, the things that made those 2 goals were things that didn't show up. Like, he didn't get a point on those plays, but he was critical into, making the plays be able to happen. So, and he's been rewarded. He's, there's times when I've had him on the second power play unit, but and when you talk about power play goals, we had a play on Sunday and he hit the post. He hit that post from right within inside the circles, and he's got a great shot. He's got great hands, but he's also, what I love is that he's also saying, okay, I'm not just going to live on that. I'm going to be, a greasier player, and he's not a real big guy, so it isn't like, I don't expect him to play like Portillo, but I don't expect him to not finish any checks either. And like I said, but he's hitting guys hard, and he's been a lot of fun to watch and see him develop as a player.
Last question for me, Coach. You go into another game against Columbus Wednesday. We play them every Wednesday this month. Were you aware of how much they struggled against Bingo in New York this past week, and what do you make of that?
We're back here for the start of this second period. Rock Lobsters up 2-1 thanks to goals from Danil Glukaryov and Brandon Reller. Right after the Glukaryov goal, the River Dragons were able to answer back with an effort through Kyle Moore. Rock Lobsters with the edge going into the second period, but it'll be interesting, Bryce, to see if they'll rue that quick response that they gave up at the beginning of the first period.
Yeah, we'll see what changes Columbus comes out and makes. It's interesting to see, being down after the first period of play, a long day of traveling, maybe now get their legs under them.
Rock Lobsters with another high pace coming into the second period, but they're unable to convert. Good save there from Bernard on the effort from Malik Johnson with a tiptoe into the left circle.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity there for Athens, just 15 seconds into the second period. Just like they started out in the first, want to get going fast, keep this pressure on Columbus.
It'll also be interesting to see if the Rock Lobsters can keep up the pace that they so fervently displayed in the first period. Michael Greco misses narrowly left of Bernard. Gallant almost with an interception at the blue line. River Dragons with a dump in. Josh Rosenzweig stops that puck in its tracks, sends it back up the right side boards. Kason Gallant trying to get it away from Somro. Kyle Russell calms things down at his own blue line. But the River Dragons have it back right in front of the Rock Lobster bench. Both teams trying to find possession, but Kason Gallant has it fall favorably towards Milan, who finds the right side of the net. Super Milan shows off his cape once more.
The 22nd goal of the season for Milan, and that one a beauty. Kind of like Reller, chose to shoot it from the high slot, elected to go with just a simple wrist shot, got the power on it, and was able to beat Bernard over his glove hand side and extend Athens' lead now to 2. And again, Mateen, another quick start now in this second period.
And it seems like the crown isn't going to fall off the head of Garrett Milan easily, as he was just today named the FPHL Player of the Month for January. River Dragons looking for another quick answer through Kyle Moore, but he gets edged out by Riley Robertson. Garrett Milan now with 53 points on the season. He's getting ever closer to the top of the FPHL rankings, currently second in the league, Danil Glukaryov. We saw his heat-seeking missile in the first period, but unable to find Shinkarik with a pass there, and Shinkarik has to recycle. Shinkarik with a tight angle shot. Easy enough save for Bernard to make, but it's poked away by Justin Portillo. Rather, Brandon Reller, who tries to send one through the crease. It ekes out on the other side for Hunter Alden. River Dragons with a takeaway on the right-hand defensive circle for Columbus. Rosenzweig puts the hand up in the air, and that one goes down as icing. Garrett Milan, goal number 22 of the season, along with his 32 assists. And that's good for 53 points. And actually, he had an assist on the opening goal, so that make that 54 points. Reller with a spill on the left side of the face-off circle. Using that to his advantage was Brian Dunford, but the Rock Lobsters have it back in behind Dunford's net. Coming away from that pressure is Ryan Galvin. Looks for a dump in, intercepted by Joe Colatarsi. Falls favorably for Picard. Can he make it for? Yes, he can! Like a roll of the dice for Brandon Picard, he puts the Rock Lobsters up 4-1. And they're slaying the Dragons here early.
Could not have asked for a better start to this second period for the Athens Rock Lobsters than how they started out right now. Picard with a great move to take the puck in the neutral zone, get around one defender, and with two defenders on his back, able to beat Bernard and extend this Athens lead to 3. The Rock Lobsters dominating right now here in Athens.
It has just not been a great spell of games for the River Dragons, and they're going to have to feel like they need to quickly score, just like they did after the first goal of this game, to feel like they can stay in it. The second period in that 11-4 loss against the Binghamton Black Bears was when it was really starting to get away from Columbus. Malik Johnson with a spill into the end boards. Luckily, he gets back up to his feet, but the River Dragons moving with the puck from right to left. Jemayev trying with some difficulty to cast a spell on this puck, but he has it back after it's poked his way by Rosenzweig. Rosenzweig, he tries to pick there on Austin Doe. Virgili pitting a Columbus player into the corner. Really good move there to spin out of that pin, though, and Justin Somero works his way to the slot, and his shot swallowed up by Rosie.
We saw it earlier in the first period towards the end. Mateen Rosenzweig just looked a little bit banged up as he made one save, and seeing a little bit more of that here in this second period, just laboring on that right leg a little bit more. Doesn't look fully comfortable as we see Weisblatt talking to him right now.
You know, something I've noticed too, Brian, says how much he's been fiddling with the helmet. It feels like there's some sort of discomfort there, that the helmet isn't as there as he wants it to be right now. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues to mess with the young goaltender. Look at Gary Milan. Look at the speed that he possesses as he fires a shot from the left wing and into the glove of Bernard. Because of the 2 wins secured by the Binghamton Black Bears against the Columbus River Dragons, they are now on a 10-game win streak that leads the FPHL, and they are well atop the Empire Division. Seems likely that among the powerhouses of the Continental Division, whoever comes out on top will likely face off against the Binghamton Black Bears in the Commissioner's Cup Finals. Ryan Hunter gets away from Robertson, takes it to the net, but Josh Rosenzweig stands tall once again. And there's that discomfort again, Bryce.
Yeah, something doesn't look comfortable. I can't tell what it is. Seems like after every stop that he makes and every stoppage of play, whether it's Shinkarik, Weisblatt, or some other Rock Lobsters player, just coming up to check on him, making sure that he's still good to go.
Milan swats it to the right side boards. Hunter in behind Carter Shinkarik. Hunter wrestles Shinkarik to the ground. Puck emerges at the blue line. You could hear the deflections from up here, Bryce, but Rosenzweig has it in the glove.
Yeah, good save, good reactionary save. Had to see through a lot of traffic in front, able to snag it with the glove.
Rock Lobsters have Dominique Rodriguez on the bench, who is coming off a shutout in just his second professional game, but the Rock Lobsters have also signed a new goaltender who used to belong to the very team that they face off against tonight, William Lavaliere. William Lavaliere. Always get mixed up with his pronunciation with one of the best in the FPHL, Mario Cavalieri. Reller almost picked that puck off. Sent into the right-hand corner by Joe Colatarsi. Lind. Intercepted by Garcia. Right in the center of the River Dragons ice. Picard tries to swat it in behind him. Lind taking on Alden in the corner. Alden trying to stiff arm like a running back. Lind's pass evades Ryan Galvin, and that goes down as icing. What a difference about 5 minutes makes, Bryce, because now the Rock Lobsters are feeling comfortable with a little less than 5 minutes gone. We go into a commercial break. Rock Lobsters with 2 quick goals in the second. They're up 4-1. Or pardon me, we're going to get right back into the action here.
Fresh line change, a fresh 5 guys on the ice here for Athens on this icing call.
False start initially on the draw. Kaysen Gallant in between 2 River Dragons, picks up the puck. His pass stopped by the skate of Greco at the line. Greco with a shot, pad save, Bernard. Kaysen Gallant trying to fight off the stick work of a Columbus defenseman. Michael Greco with a swat towards Storjahan. Was told by Tom Callahan that there was a flu bug going through this Columbus River Dragons team. Clever no-look pass, and it returns back to Malik Johnson, but straight into the chest of Bernard Virgili with an incidental block shot on his own teammate Kyle Russell. Spins away from the check in the corner. Was looking for Gallant in the slot. Finds Lind instead, and here comes Columbus drifting into the zone. Jamaeff over the bar.
That shot ricocheted all the way back down. A hard shot there by Columbus. Just trying to find something to string together some momentum. Fan pass right there. That ain't going to do it. Just Athens, relentless in their pressure.
Justin Portillo leading that charge right now with this line. Good job initially by Kolatarsi to make the interception. Matt Garcia is able to complete the job of clearing the ice, but it ends up in a Rock Lobster icing. Here goes that commercial break that we thought we were going to have. It happens now. 13:43 left in the second. The Rock Lobsters feeling comfortable, up 3, 4-1. More hockey coming up after this. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. Tonight's hometown hero, Robert Arstad. Akins Ford Arena to their feet to thank him for his service. Thank you so much, Robert. And also, something else celebrated here at Akins Ford Arena today. It's National Women's and Girls in Sports Day, Bryce. And of course, Bryce, me and you having worked together at Kennesaw State, we were lucky to work with some fantastic women in this business.
Yeah, some great women that are in this business. And sports is a hard business, and women, they've done a great job of pioneering the industry. And I think broadcasters like Doris Burke, a big one, who has really just done a great job of pioneering, and it's really become a role model for me.
It's definitely difficult for women to work in this business when they're surrounded by dummies like us, right, Brad?
Oh, yeah.
Reller pokes one away from Moore, almost sends himself on a breakaway. Sleheka with a backhand pass intercepted by Picard, who's already scored one, and this one, Rister creates a blocker save. Ooh, it emerges for Portillo, and again, Portillo's so hungry to score his first as a Rock Lobster. What's it gonna take for the powerhouse to rattle one in the back of the net? Here comes Moore, who's reunited with his brother Kyle on this team. Ooh, that one was floated through the crease. Took a piece of Rosenzweig's glove. Picard straight up into the air. Reller watches it the whole way down and backhands it away. Took a deflection, no icing, say the officials.
Martine, 12:40 remaining here in this second period. It just seems like it's some one-and-done action here for Columbus, not able to hold a lot of zone time.
Milan eases Dunford to the boards and then is taken down by Dunford in return. Scott Doherty through center ice. McDonald in the left circle. Tries a tight angle shot. Puck still loose out in front, and it finds a way in the top shelf. Doherty has one back. It just felt like the Rock Lobsters kind of paused there as the puck was on the welcome mat, and Scott Doherty just pokes it into the top shelf past Rosenzweig.
Yeah, that was a little bit awkward there for Rosenzweig. Made the initial first two saves, but Doherty continued to follow up and poke away at it, finally able to chip it up and into the top shelf to get one back here for Columbus. And maybe that's the spark that they needed to get back into this game. A 2-goal lead, one of the most dangerous leads in sports, and only 2 shots on goal behind according to the scoreboard, so take that for what you will. But Columbus, a massive goal here with over half the second remaining.
Doherty wheels away from Johnson. Doherty with a soft touch there on his goal. His 4th of the season for the 6'5" right winger. Greco banks it off the left side. Will be picked up by Dunford behind his netminder's cage. Russell with speed to the left of Rosenzweig's net. Dumps it in. He's going to chase it himself. Bernard with kind of a double pump there, but is able to get it out. Picked up by Greco at his own blue line. Right through the center of the rink, off the skate of Johnson. And Johnson has it back. Trying to feed Virgili, and maybe a pass too much towards Gallant. Garcia from range, blocked out from a short distance. Kolatarsi turnaround dump in. Bernard with another play of the puck.
Yeah, Mateen, you mentioned one too many passes there. Virgili fires that first time. Bernard kind of left half the cage wide open. Didn't fully slide all the way to block off that attempt if it were to come his way.
Reller, tight angle shot, easy save for Bernard to make. And the pace of this game is not the one that the Rock Lobsters opened up this score with, rather opened up this period with. It's becoming much more of an even contest after that River Dragons goal, Bryce.
Yeah, very much so. And you're starting to see maybe them settle down. And it was this way in the first period as well, where Athens came out really hot. Columbus able to get an early one back.
Ooh, Joe Kolatarsi forces a pad save out of Bernard. Puck was there for the Rock Lobsters to pounce on, but easier said than done.
First 2 periods, they've come out slow, picked it up in the second half. We'll see if Columbus can keep this up.
Hunter Alden is another Rock Lobster that would love to score his first for the team. And there's Picard. Doesn't get all the mustard on that one. Lind takes a hit from Reller, but still finds Samara. Anderson in behind, needs a pass, finds one in Galvin. An Atlanta, Georgia native, center shot towards Rosenzweig, and that's easier for the netminder to make. We go into a commercial break, 9:54 left, but Columbus have one back. Can they make the Rock Lobsters more uncomfortable as we have reached the middle mark of this game? UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Back here with 9:54 left on the clock in the second period. The Rock Lobsters are going to want to keep this a clean rest of the second, Bryce.
Yeah, and with how Columbus has kind of turned it around after getting one back here in the second period, you just have to be careful because momentum is a very big thing, especially in the sport of hockey. And with how Columbus has played and how they played in recent form, not happy with how they've been playing.
Ooh, a quick snapshot out of the faceoff by Austin Doe. Philip Virgili's pass gets blocked out. Doe picks it back up, brought into the zone by Jamea, finds the side netting on a shot. Turns one around, pass towards the slot. Puck loose out in front. Rosenzweig sprawls in behind. Slehecka tries to pick it back up and trouble Rosenzweig, who's lost his stick. It's handed back to him by Virgili. Virgili helping Rosenzweig out, blocking out that shot from Columbus. But the Rock Lobsters are sprawling around here in their own zone. Russell with a poke for Slehecka opens up the check for Greco all the way back to the blue line for Brian Moore. And it's out of the zone, and here comes Malik Johnson with a one-on-one, but Virgili brings down Brian Moore, and he'll head to the box. And that ultimately kills the breakaway for the Rock Lobsters. Virgili doesn't like the call. But the Rock Lobsters heading to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Strong, skilled, strategic defense. When you think those words, you think Leslie Jones Law. And that's exactly the kind of qualities that the Rock Lobsters are going to need to exhibit against this Columbus River Dragons team, who were ranked far higher in the power play rankings earlier on in the season.
Got to face off against an Athens team that's second best, killing off 88.1% of the power plays that they've been put up against. But a big opportunity here for Columbus to cut this deficit to 1 with Virgili in the box.
At the line, Underwood, long-range shot. Rosenzweig covers. Kyle Moore took a spill. Good shooting opportunity for Columbus just 8 seconds into this power play. They've got a unit of McDonald, Kyle Moore, Kirk Underwood, Orion Hunter, and Austin Doe. Milan finds Weisblatt, almost a pass out of the faceoff, and a 2-on-1 developing. Milan on the right, Weisblatt on the left. Good deflection off the stick as the Rock Lobsters tried to score shorthanded. Moore on the left circle. Rock Lobsters, did they commit too many numbers going forward? Not just yet. Milan with a clearance. Couple of players thinking about going. Ryan Hunter getting in the face of Riley Robertson. 6'4" going up against 6'6".
Looks like they're going to tag Hunter for a slash here. I'm not sure if that's going to be the only penalty we'll get out of this. But if you're Columbus, you've got to be smarter than that in that situation. Down by 2, over a minute. Almost a minute and a half remaining on that power play opportunity. A chance to get this game back within 1, and you take a silly penalty that's going to make it 4-on-4. And at the end of it, if Athens can get possession and their offensive zone turn into a Rock Lobster power play.
You can see the number 88 for Columbus, Ryan Hunter. And the Rock Lobsters will now skate a minute 27 seconds of 4-on-4 before having a 33-second Paloma Park power play.
A lot of open ice to work with, Mateen. A lot of open ice.
That usually benefits the Rock Lobsters. Let's see what they can do here. River Dragons win the draw. Glukarev tries to poke it away, and that is just awkward for the River Dragons to deal with. Underwood just kind of paused and tried to usher that puck back towards Bernard. I don't think that's what Bernard wanted, Bryce.
Yeah, I think Underwood wanted Bernard to cover that and get another face-off, but Bernard didn't want to cover it up. It gave Picard an awesome opportunity to try and poke it home.
McDonald has some of the best vision that this league has seen in his years. Weisblatt wants an interference, rather Greco, 98, not 88. And he has stayed down on the ice. Greco slow to get up as he is smarting.
It was an awkward collision. I believe that it was McDonald who had the puck, and it might have been Underwood who was trying to get around him, and he just kind of fell awkwardly, twisted awkwardly to the ground. Hopefully that he is going to be okay. The 26-year-old from Ontario.
That doesn't look good as he tries to initially get back up to his feet, but second bite of the cherry, he's able to get up, and we'll see if Greco's heading towards the bench or the locker room. It looks like they'll be able to try and nurse it on the pine for the time being. Don't think there was anything intentional there, Bryce. I think there was just a collision, and Greco kind of got blindsided out of it.
Yeah, I think it was almost like trying to set a pick play in basketball with what was going on there with Underwood. And it was just an unfortunate collision that Greco got involved with. The Athens bench was irate that there was no interference penalty called, as Steve Martinson is talking with the referees right now. Nonetheless, a defensive zone draw here for Athens, 7:59 remaining in a 2-goal lead.
A great quote from Steve Martinson in our coach's corner. You might have heard it. He says, "I tell the referees that I'm always right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right." Wow, look at the play here from Milan out of the faceoff. And then Carter Shinkarik backhand swat into the glass behind Bernard.
Good opportunity there for Shinkarik. Just tried to go on the one-time backhand, poked it high and wide.
And look at the recovery from Shinkarik. He's already back in a defensive position for the Rock Lobsters. So adept at using his speed to his advantage as well as his skating ability. Kyle Russell banks it out. Garrett Milan, 3-on-2 developing on the 4-on-4. Weisblatt to Shinkarik. With a slapper, misses to the left. And now Kyle Russell isolated in defense against Storjahan the other way.
Good play there by Russell to not try and attack that puck.
Doherty sends one through the crease, and there's calamity in Rosenzweig's blue trapezoid. Virgili's coming out the box, but the River Dragons intercepted Storjahan. What a save, Rosenzweig! And then his helmet spills off once again, and then we see another little hop and a step there, Bryce.
Yeah, very good defense there by Rosenzweig, able to make a couple of good saves. The diving save, didn't know where the puck was. Luckily, had some teammates to help out in getting that puck cleared away. But as you mentioned, Mateem still looked a little ginger. He's having to move around a lot in the crease tonight. He's scrambling a little bit, but he has kept most of the shots that he has faced out.
7 minutes left in this middle period, and now the Rock Lobsters will have 26 seconds of Paloma Park power play time to play with. And it would really relieve some of the pressure here if they're able to log a goal. And they had some opportunities on the 4-on-4, really the beneficiary of that open ice that we were talking about, Bryce.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be Athens more so than it was Columbus who had the advantage. But as you mentioned, Mateen, Columbus took advantage more of that 4-on-4, made life uncomfortable for Athens. But luckily for the Rock Lobsters, they're still holding on to that 2-goal advantage.
Right out of the faceoff, Jamayev tries to take it towards the net, cut out by Kyle Russell. Carter Shinkarik picks it up behind Rosenzweig's net. Only 15 seconds to go on this power play now. Milan backhands it to no man's land, unfortunately. Shinkarik picks it back up. Milan. Hunter out of the box. Easy choice for Rosenzweig to make, and that's the freeze.
Almost too many men on the ice call here for Athens. As that puck was getting cleared out, Athens was going for a change, and the player coming on almost touched the puck as it was going back towards Rosenzweig. So the Rock Lobsters catch a break, but still have to defend a dangerous offensive zone draw here for the River Dragons.
Both teams now skating back at 5 apiece again. Rock Lobsters with a 4-2 lead. They've scored 2 in this second period. River Dragons have scored 1. False start on the face-off. So Johnson and Hunter will do it again. It's Johnson who draws one back. Kolatarsi takes a spill in behind. Ryan Hunter trying to convert defense into offense. Michael Greco with a stop of that dump in with his shin. Kolatarsi right up center ice, and it's picked up by Hugh Anderson on the Lobster. Puck falls at the Rock Lobster blue line, picked up by Hunter. Good stick work by Greco to take the puck off Hunter.
Good to see him back on the ice.
Virgili has Gallant to his left. Virgili instead opts for the shot in the slot. Almost misses the top shelf where Grandma keeps the cookies.
Had plenty of room up there, just could not find it. Really good stop and go move there from Virgili as we have a high sticking penalty upcoming. Is that going against Athens?
Trying to figure out who the guilty party is. And it looks like it'll be the River Dragons via Connor Lind. His high stick puts the Rock Lobsters up a man for 2 minutes.
Didn't draw any blood, only 2 minutes on the power play. This is a big opportunity for Athens. Can't do anything stupid. Columbus took the penalty, eliminated their power play opportunity. If you're Athens, you want to try and add on to your lead here. You do that now by winning the faceoff.
Shinkarik rides the blue line to Glukaryov, up the right for Milan. Milan's pass right into Storjahan might create some danger. Rock Lobsters led up 2 shorthanded goals against the Zydeco this past weekend. The Zydeco only scored 3 goals total in that 3-game set. Picard into the right-hand corner. Milan behind him for Glukaryov, picked up by the Russian. Shinkarik at the line, to the left for Weisblatt. Other circle, Milan. Shinkarik with a laser that takes a deflection into the end boards. Ooh, good feed from Glukaryov. Picard was trying to tip it in past Bernard. Glukaryov working in the left circle. Good pass out from the left to find Milan. Picard. Garrett Milan. Carter Shinkarik. I think that one took a tip of the toe of Bernard. Good time of possession here in the offensive zone for the Rock Lobsters. Won't mean anything, though, if they can't score out of it. And right as we say that, we almost see the River Dragons get it out. Austin Doe with a good body check on Picard. Carter Shinkarik drifts in up the left, looking for Milan. Glukaryov back to Milan. Shinkarik emerges in the right circle. Shot off of Bernard and into the glass behind him. Clock stops at 4:04. The Rock Lobsters with good pressure. They still have 25 seconds left, but it feels like they were unable to capitalize on some good opportunities on the power play. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Since 1968, we've been your trusted source for home comfort. From then to now, we've evolved, but our commitment to your comfort remains unchanged. Experience the expertise that only decades of dedicated service can provide. Trust Stanfield. We've been keeping homes comfortable for over 50 years. Your comfort, our legacy. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now. It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Bryce, still 25 seconds left on this man advantage for the Rock Lobsters, but their best opportunities on this power play might have been already past them.
Yeah, but you can't ask for a better power play. All offensive zone time. You didn't give it up at all. No pucks across the blue line. It was constant pressure. Unfortunately, just could not find the back of the net. We still got 25 seconds to try and build on this lead.
Not to mention offensive zone draw, but the River Dragons initially spinning out of this faceoff, but Johnson has it back to Greco at the line, loses sight of the puck initially. Almost thought that might have been a boarding call against the River Dragons, but Kason Gallant able to recover. Joe Colatarsi picks it up in his own ice.
Just a little bit of a cross-check to the back.
Greco up the left. Josh Rosenzweig slaps the stick on the ice, letting the rest of his team know that Connor Lind is back on the ice. Virgili taking on Dunford man for man. Gallant. Virgili in the left corner, back to Kason Gallant. Greco lets that one run through his skate, but luckily it was stopped by the linesman. Malik Johnson somehow finds a way to take that puck with him. Gallant sends it back to Malik the Marvel, who has his stick held, and now the Rock Lobsters going back to the power play.
It's going to be a hooking call, it looks like, here on the River Dragons. Johnson did not have his stick as that puck came back towards him. He instantly, with palms to the sky, was looking at the referee for a penalty call. He got it, and that will send the Rock Lobsters to another Palmona Park power play.
Rock Lobsters already up 4-2. Meanwhile, the River Dragons trying to show some fortitude to try and stay in this game and not give up another goal. Rock Lobsters still looking for their first power play goal of the evening. If they can find one here, they'll send fans home happy with $3 tacos for 24 hours through the FanSaves app, available only at Paloma Park. Linesman not happy with a faceoff, but Milan wins it anyway. Shinkarik to the left. Easy interception by Storjahan on the Kason Gallant pass.
They got Dunford, by the way, Mateen, for holding the stick was the penalty.
And we saw Malik Johnson put his hands up in despair as his stick was down on the ground after Dunford took it away from him. And you can't do that, Bryce. You just can't.
Can't do it.
Milan taking his spot on the right side of the circle. Great drifting there from Virgili towards the slot and then laid it off for Weisblatt, who couldn't get the shot off. And here come the River Dragons the other way, a one-on-one. Storjahan seeing Shinkarik in front of him, and then a long-range effort from Jamaev into the glove of Rosenzweig.
Rosenzweig did not want to hold on to that and have a defensive zone draw. He let go of that, but the referee on the wrong side, he could not see that Rosenzweig dropped the puck for Shinkarik, who was right there.
Does feel like Carter Shinkarik gets messed with a little bit more than the rest of the Rock Lobsters when they go up against their in-state rival, of course. Carter Shinkarik, the #1 overall pick in the FPHL expansion draft this year, taken by the Rock Lobsters from the River Dragons, as they left him unprotected. Still a minute to go on this power play. Ooh, good turn there from Greco, but puck didn't come with him. Colatarsi. Glukaryov around the end boards, takes a bounce off the side netting of Bernard's net. Glukaryov backhands it to Greco. Steve Martinson rolling with the second power play unit here. Malik Johnson behind Bernard. Evades 2 River Dragons, pokes it back to Greco. Greco somehow keeps it in. What an effort from the defenseman. Glukaryov trying to feed it into the slot like he's mailing a package, and then Colatarsi's shot gets deflected out by Doherty. River Dragons with numbers going forward. 10 seconds left on the man advantage for the Rock Lobsters. Oh, McDonald tried to put one almost off the helmet of Rosenzweig in. Power play's over and a minute remaining of play in the second period. Greco with a backhand pass to Kolatarsi. Kolatarsi negating the impact of a hit. The River Dragons looking for a route out behind Bernard's net. Rock Lobsters with the shots on goal advantage at 27-25. Cleared out over the head of Milan, picked up by Shinkarik. Hard bank pass. Milan finds a way to calm that puck down, but his pass gets intercepted at center ice. And icing against the Rock Lobsters, and the puck stops at the 18.3 mark. DJ Webster in the chat. I'd like to thank him for joining as always, as he's about, 7 feet away from us here in the production booth.
Some late night hockey here, Mateen. We're almost to 11.
Hey, he's going to have to make this more of a nightclub vibe here in a second. Is there such thing as cosmic hockey?
You know what? I think we should start it. Probably make some money doing it.
Ooh, a long-range shot from Slaheka. The puck is still loose out. Milan spins away with it. Pinned into the corner. More out of it into the side netting. And I think for Josh Rosenswag's blessing, this period ends with the puck in a dangerous position for the River Dragons. Both teams scored in the second, but the Rock Lobsters were able to make the most of their advantage. It feels like they've got rockets in their skates while the River Dragons are lulling in just behind. I had a chance to talk with UGA broadcaster Ren Grimsley about the upcoming College Hockey South playoffs. Here's my conversation with Ren.
Mateen Rad, voice of the Athens Rock Lobsters, here with a very special edition of Lobster Tales. Joining me on today's episode is UGA Ice Dogs broadcaster Ren Grimsley. He, along with the team, is preparing for this upcoming weekend's College Hockey South playoffs. This includes both the men's and women's teams, and it takes place from February 7th through the 9th. Ren, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
100%. It's the first season for pro hockey here in Athens, but ice hockey has been no stranger to the Classic City. For those who don't know, how long have the UGA Ice Dogs been a part of the Athens community?
The Ice Dogs have been around since 1987, which is, I think, surprising to a lot of people, especially those who even still today will be like, oh, I didn't know UGA had a hockey team. And it's like, yeah, we've been kicking for a long time now.
I think what's interesting about it is, UGA has such an obvious, rich sports culture. And of course, football is going to take the headlines more often than not. But how have the Ice Dogs carved out their own identity with the Athens sports scene being what it is?
Yeah, I mean, coming to the arena here in Athens has certainly helped now with more of a permanent home. Before the Ice Dogs were playing in the Classic Center in a ballroom that they had sort of built a temporary rink in. And then in the winter, they would play outside at the pavilion, which was super cool to play outdoors, especially down in the South. But I think that it's really helped coming to this arena now.
What has the energy been like that you've seen in Akins Ford Arena and the Athens community at Ice Dogs games? And how do you think it's grown, in its long history?
I think it's really been cool to see. Before this past season, the team was playing in Duluth and in Cumming, so it was an hour drive away or an hour and a half away. So we didn't get a whole lot of students, especially. It was mainly parents or people who were close by. Now, I mean, these are all students at the university on the team, so they have their friends and their, fraternity brothers coming out and supporting them and making it more of a home crowd and giving that advantage to the team.
I think something that might be enticing for hockey fans here in Athens, it could be very enticing to get involved with the Ice Dogs because it's not just one team that you're becoming a fan of, it's 3. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Like you said, UGA has 3 club teams. They have the men's D1, the men's D3, and then the women's team. And I've been grateful and blessed with the opportunity to call games for all 3 of those teams. And to meet the players and the coaches, because it really is a group of students who just love playing hockey because, they're not getting paid or anything. So just having people who enjoy the sport and who just love what they do is really cool to see, especially when, like I said, there's 2 different men's teams, a D1 and a D3. So really there's plenty of opportunities for those guys to play.
When and how did you get involved with the hockey program? Were you a fan of the team before playing a part?
I had gone to a few games when I was in high school. And then going into my freshman year of college, I saw that they were offering spots and applications for interns, one of those being for broadcasters. And being a sports broadcaster is something I wanted to do since I was in middle school. So I was like, even if I don't get it, I'm definitely going to apply for this. And I did. And I interviewed with Torrin Smith and Joe Kopshow, who started the broadcast for UGA and have just done great things. And they've helped me and helped teach me so much. And so then I was accepted when I was a freshman. So now this is my second season with UGA Ice Dogs broadcast team.
You said that middle school was when you kind of caught that spark. What made you interested in wanting to become a sports broadcaster?
Yeah, I don't exactly remember the year. It was 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, one of those 3. But when my cousin graduated from high school, he didn't really know what he wanted to do. And I remember my parents talking about it, and they said that he should go into something like sports commentary, sports broadcasting, something to do with sports, because that was what he was really into. And I remember hearing that conversation and just being like, oh, wow, that's actually something that I could do and something that I'm interested in as well. And so I knew I wanted to go to UGA. Both my parents went to UGA. So I knew I wanted to go there, especially for the journalism and the sports media certificate program, which I am now a part of, and has just been a great opportunity to grow and learn and meet other people interested in sports and sports broadcasting.
I saw that, obviously you're a student at UGA. I saw that your father was also a student at UGA. You just mentioned that your mother was as well. Are you an Athens native?
Not exactly. I'm from about 40 minutes from Athens. It's called Social Circle, Georgia. But I have been going to Georgia football games and tailgating in Athens since I was really little. And I remember my first concert was in Athens. So I'm not from Athens, but because my parents both went here and have a love for the city, I also have a love for the city and a history with it.
Your soul is from Athens. That's what matters. And
exactly.
I guess my question is what made you fall in love with ice hockey? I'm a Georgia native as well. And a lot of times I'm sure you, like myself, have a bunch of friends that are interested in sports, but you have friends that you say, oh, I'm a hockey fan. And they go, hockey fan? What's that about? And of course, me and you know what makes hockey such an amazing sport, but how did you catch that bug when you were young?
I wish I had some cool story, but I really don't. I think it was just more of a gradual thing, honestly. I think it started with watching like ESPN top 10 highlights in the mornings before school. And then, seeing the fights, that's what everyone really loves. And everyone sort of gets drawn into the fighting. And then eventually I just started watching more and more of it. And then I fell in love with just the game in general and learning about it and all the players and the history. I think hockey's such a cool sport and so unique.
Well, that brings us to the hockey scene that's currently here in Athens. The Rock Lobsters are tearing up the FPHL, and the Ice Dogs are the hot team in college hockey South. The men's team have got a first-round bye, and their tournament will open on Saturday. Who and what are going to be the roadblocks to the Ice Dogs winning this tournament, in your opinion?
I think that this current UGA team is one of the best they've ever had. Just absolutely phenomenal on both ends of the ice, as well as goaltending. Ryan Testino and Isaac Haugen are just a phenomenal duo. I think, the only other team that I would say is sort of the roadblock, like you mentioned, is Tennessee. That's their only loss this season, is against to the University of Tennessee. And it came at the Savannah Hockey Classic in the final game. But they played that game on Saturday, and then 2 days later on Monday, they beat Tennessee in Akins Ford Arena at home. So certainly I think this team is capable of winning it all. I think that it's just if they come to play and if how much they want it.
And then meanwhile, the women's team, they just scratched their way in, and this is only the second ever CHS playoffs ever for women's hockey. They might have an outside chance, but what has this season been like for the women's team this year?
It certainly hasn't been as glorious as the men's team. This is only the third season for the women. So just seeing them grow, like I said, I got to call some games last season for them, and their whole goal right now is just growing the game for women in general. But they certainly have some really great players in Paige Alkis. She's phenomenal, and so they definitely have a chance if they come out ready to play as well.
The brand new state-of-the-art Akins Ford Arena has been a revelation for the city of Athens and obviously to the Athens hockey community as well. But in your opinion, what do you think are the big positives that the Ice Dogs have taken out of the building of the Akins Ford Arena?
Well, the crowd, first of all, has just been, like I said, really, really great to see them supporting their university. And then also, from my perspective, playing in Duluth is, an hour to an hour and a half away, depending on traffic. So now I can drive 10 minutes to the arena. That's, 2 to 3 hours of my day that is now free. And then my broadcast partner, Will Hopkins, he walks to the arena. So just having ease and it feels more like a university event when you leave the arena and you're still in Athens and you're not an hour away from Athens.
I want to make sure that the fans are aware of just how the CHS playoffs are going to go. For those who, maybe in terms of the format, in terms of people who want to come out and support, what can fans expect with a CHS tournament this weekend?
Yeah, so it's 3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And like you mentioned, they clinched the number one spot, and UGA has a bye week or a bye day. And then after that, after the first round, they will reseed the standings. So UGA will play the lowest seed after the first round. And then from there, it's just single elimination until we have a winner.
I know you pointed out the goaltending duo for the strong UGA men's team, but what about some of the other personnel that have really impressed for the Ice Dogs this season?
Ryan Bailey has definitely been wonderful. He transferred in halfway through last season from a D3 team, from an NCAA D3 team, I should mention. And he leads the team in points right now. He's third in College Hockey South in points. He had a hat trick against Tennessee a couple weeks ago. And then just last night against Farmingdale State, he had 3 points as well. So he's been a great offensive contributor to this team. And then Robbie Whitwer, who's the captain, he's been the captain for a couple seasons now. And he's just a great leader and just an all-around great guy. Just getting to talk to him is phenomenal. He has so much insight and knowledge about this team and about how they work and how they can improve.
Obviously, there's been success for the Ice Dogs before, but with the arena, with the play of the team right now, they have that kind of big league feel to their team right now. And what do you think about the future for this program and the future for college hockey in the South in general?
I think the future for this team is as high as it could possibly be. Certainly the highest it's ever been. Now with the new arena, I mean, that is great for recruiting, playing in a big time arena that, a professional team plays in, because I've gotten to travel to some of the other rinks and some of the other, places that other club teams play in. And it's sort of like when we were playing in Duluth, it's just not the same scale as Akins Ford Arena. And then Coach Kemp has done a great job recruiting. He's getting, guys from both inside of Georgia, from the Atlanta area, as well as from Long Island and Minnesota and other places up north.
Just as well as I do, we're just coming off 3 straight doubleheaders for the Ice Dogs and the Rock Lobsters. Sunday was actually a triple header with the addition of the D3 team playing last on Sunday. That's where me and you crossed paths again and said, hey, why don't we do this show and talk about the playoffs coming up? How do you think the play of both teams, especially going back-to-back like that, has helped the in-game atmosphere of both of their games?
I think certainly having, 1, 2, 3 back to back. It was D1 and then the Rock Lobsters and then D3. It just feels like almost like a hockey city now. And I got to go to all 3 games, and there were fans there supporting their team. Fans just love hockey, I think, more than they realize, and they come to games not knowing anything and then walk out a hockey fan. So many of my friends who've never been to a hockey game, don't know anything about hockey, will go and will text me and be like, wow, I need to get more into hockey. Like, this is awesome. This is aggressive. It's fast paced. It has everything that I love about sports. So, and I completely agree with that.
Getting to broadcast this team in a very special season for its programs, what has been the most memorable moment for you in the booth watching the Ice Dogs down there so far? I mean, we saw that shootout win Saturday against Farmingdale State. You talked about the win against Tennessee, but for you, what has been the moment of glory for you, and maybe something that is special for you to look back on your call on, and something that you could save to your broadcast reel in the future?
I definitely think that shootout was something special a couple of days ago. That was the first shootout I ever got to call. I was doing play-by-play. I didn't really quite know what would be entitled in calling a shootout, but it was a lot of fun, and Georgia getting to come out with the win on that was awesome. And then I remember in a little story, obviously hockey guys on the ice are aggressive and can seem mean-spirited sometimes when they're chirping and hitting other guys. But I remember when I first started in my first game, it was my job to go down and interview players, and then we would put that up on the live stream. And so I remember Josh Mazzaros, it was against Clemson. And like I said, the first game I had gone to, and he had gotten like maybe 2 penalties already and was, chirping guys really hard, and you could hear it from everywhere. And then I went down there and I was like, hey Josh, can I get an interview with you? Like, really nervous. And then he was like, oh yeah, man, let's do it. Like, that'd be awesome. And I was like, oh wow, he's like a really, really cool, nice guy. And so I just think that's, that was something that was fun to me, was seeing the guys on the ice and then getting to meet them off the ice and just how different it really is.
It feels like a good segue to our next little segment here, because that reminds me of meeting Justin Portillo. I know Justin's reputation in leagues around the United States, and his reputation for being a stellar fighter and for not taking really anything from anybody. And then, of course, I meet him, and he's probably the nicest guy on the team, the way that he's treated me thus far. But that leads us to a little game that we're going to play here, Ren. We're going to compare players for the 2 teams. I'm going to bring up an Athens Rock Lobster, try to tell you a little bit more about their reputation, and maybe you can give me a comparison with an Ice Dog in an answer. Do you think you could do that?
I think so. Let's do it.
Perfect. So we'll start with no one else other than Justin Portillo, a tough, aggressive, powerhouse player known to drop the gloves. Who's the quickest comparison to that on the Ice Dogs?
I think it's tough because in club hockey, they don't really allow you to drop the gloves the same way. Still, guys push around, push each other, after the whistle, some pushing and shoving. So it's still very much part of the game and part of the culture. I would say the guy that when I look down at the ice and I always see chirping or pushing guys around after the play, maybe they get a little close to the goalie, is Declan Conway. He's always, letting the other team know that he's there.
Very, very funny that Declan Conway is a player on the UGA Ice Dogs. Obviously, also a player that has the same name in the FPHL as him, Monroe Moccasins, Declan Conway. Just a funny little coincidence there. Next up, we have Garrett Molan, a quick guy, goal scorer, fun to watch, a leader. Anyone like Garrett on the team?
I would say that summarizes a lot of the players on this team in general. There are so many guys who are really great scorers. I think UGA's offense, UGA's defense as well is really good, but for just a guy who gets goals consistently and is always around, I would say Ryan Bailey is definitely one of them. Like I said, he leads the team in points. I think Evan Parente more is probably a faster skater. He does really great on the forecheck. And he leads the team in assists this season. So also, a general scorer, because UGA's style, they don't get unassisted goals very often. So him being able to produce, I think, also makes him very similar to Moran in that sense.
And then the last player I have is Josh Rosenzweig, and obviously he's a phenomenal goaltender. But the reason why I ask about Josh is because everyone I ask on the team says that Rosie is the funniest guy on the team. So maybe who do you think is the funniest guy on the Ice Dogs?
That's a great question. I think that in any hockey locker room, there's going to be guys with big personalities. I would say a guy that I've had probably the funniest interactions with has been Evan Moore. I got to interview him back earlier this season, and he gave some really great and really hysterical insight into the game that they were playing. And then I also saw him at the Georgia-Florida football game, and he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, do you remember me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember you." How could I forget?
Well, Ren, it's been a pleasure talking to you about UGA hockey as well as the upcoming CHS playoffs, which take place through February 7th through the 9th in Akins Ford Arena. Make sure you catch Ren and his crew's broadcast on UGA Hockey, their YouTube channel. That's the exclusive streaming home for the UGA Ice Dogs. Ren, it's been a pleasure talking with you, man.
Thank you so much. I love what hockey has come to this city, with the Rock Lobsters and with UGA hockey as well.
Was great to talk to Ren about the upcoming CHS playoffs here at Akins Ford Arena. It's going to be a fun time for fans of college hockey, fans of the Ice Dogs, and right now it's a good time to be a fan of the Rock Lobsters. Bryce, up 4-2 going into the third period.
Yeah, we're on trend for how the first two periods went. Expect Athens to score 2 and Columbus to score 1. But it's a sport of hockey. You never know what happens. That's what makes sports the greatest drama in the world. This game could end up 7-7 for all we know. But if you're Athens, you want to close this out. You got a 2-goal advantage. Play smart, play clean. Josh Rosenzweig has played great in net tonight, stopping 24 of the 26 shots that he's faced. Athens just going to try and close this one out.
Right now, Bryce, the hope will be that they don't go to the dreaded O word for everyone that has a work day tomorrow.
I'm not going to say it. I've made that mistake before.
Garrett Milan with a great pass, left to right. The Russian Rocket just misses wide to the left to Neil Glukaryov, but he has the puck back in his good graces. Glukaryov from the left circle. Weisblatt, left to right pass, and his shot right into the glove of Bernard.
Mateen, and this has been the theme. This line has opened up every single period here tonight exactly like you just saw in the first 26 seconds of this period, or 24 seconds of this period. It was a great shot there from Weisblatt, a great pass there from Glukaryov, a good save from Bernard, and Athens on the attack early.
Not much separating these two teams in terms of the shots on goal. As we see Carter Shinkarik just miss high over the bar, picked back up by Milan. But, of course, it seems like the Rock Lobsters, as we see Weisblatt with a high slot shot, miss wide. It feels like they're getting the higher percentage chances in this game despite the similar shot on goal numbers. Riley Robertson gets turned over in his own zone. Ryan Galvin in behind the end boards, picked up in behind by Somero. His pass only finds the Rock Lobsters' Orca Weisblatt. Garrett Milan with speed, stick handling ability, and skating as well. Toe drags it through the skates of Anderson, but putting a stop to that foray was Galvin. Quick pause for station identification as the Rock Lobsters have the puck in their own zone. WGAU and W254 CJ Athens, 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU. You're watching and listening to the Athens Rock Lobster Network, whether it's our friends on the airwaves WGAU or the official Athens Rock Lobster YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe, like the stream, and hit the bell to stay tuned in on all future content on this channel. Kaysen Gallant finds Russell, who was the third star in the last game, 2 assists. His first multi-point game as a Rock Lobster. Greco drifts the puck in behind. Gallant with the feed off of Johnson. Virgili down to his knees. That was a scary play there as the skate of Jemayev was heading towards the face of Virgili. Luckily to evade that, Gallant takes it in, a one-on-one, toe drag, wrist shot. Malik Johnson trying to pick it up. Virgili does instead, and his wrister misses.
Great lift of the stick in the high slot there by the River Dragons. Might have saved a goal-scoring opportunity.
Kason Gallant, meanwhile, has really shown off his stick handling acumen. We talked to head coach Steve Martinson about the extra work that he's been putting in. He's been one of the team's best players this season, but it feels like he's found an extra level as of late. Alden pinned into the corner, but Picard has the puck. Garcia backpedaling towards the blue line through the skates of Picard. Picked up by Brandon Reller, who scored the game's third goal to make it 2-1. Alden back towards Picard. Alden, he's looking for his first as a Rock Lobster. Puck is set long. It'll be picked up by Matt Garcia before it can be iced. 3 minutes gone in the third.
It's a solid 2 minutes of sustained pressure there for the Rock Lobsters and a chance.
But Hunter Alden had drifted offside before Reller could take it in, at least according to the linesman.
Reller has a case to be upset here, I believe. The lineman was not on the blue line, was kind of down further in the zone, so he did not really have a great view of the offsides play at the blue line. It would have been a for sure goal-scoring opportunity there for Brandon Reller. Instead, it's a face-off in the neutral zone.
The number 97 referee, Cameron Campbell. Two veterans, Milan against McDonald in the face-off circle. It's the younger Milan who wins it. Ooh, Doherty almost takes his eye off the ball figuratively. It's really a puck, but he's able to find the pass. Weisblatt on the left side finds Milan with a beautiful banker. Taken away from him, though, by McDonald. McDonald, a former 60 goal scorer in this league, and he was looking for the route of Ryan Hunter. Gets just enough of the blade of his stick to evade the icing. Weisblatt, drop past Milan. Milan looking for Glukarioff, who was on the welcome mat. His tip goes wide. Rock Lobsters reloading. Shinkarik with a tilt-a-whirl. His pass gets intercepted by Dunford, sent to Greco. Pass right up the center of the ice. Milan was looking for the one-time pass to Weisblatt. River Dragons with a good zone entry here through Doherty. He scored to make it 4-2. Greco has Russell in front of him. The defenseman getting in on the attack, and his wrister stopped by Bernard. We talked about the great game that Kyle Russell had Sunday against Baton Rouge, 2 assists. His first multi-point game as a Rock Lobster, but he's still looking for his first goal for Athens.
It's a good shot there by Russell. Right into the bread basket, got a little bit of a bounce. Virgili was crashing the net, hoping for a rebound. But Bernard, a nice job to keep it close, cover it up, get a whistle, and now a defensive zone draw.
The line of Virgili, Johnson, and Gallant. Gallant, the center on this line right now. Justin Somero on the Columbus faceoff win. Storjahan to his left, return pass to Somero. Turnaround pass, no one was there. Doesn't feel like Rosenzweig has been greatly troubled in this third period yet, Bryce.
Yeah, he has not. It's been Athens with the better opportunities. I don't believe that Columbus has registered a shot on goal this period, Mateen.
We'll try to change that here. Not sure if that one troubled Rosenzweig or if that was into the side netting, the effort from Somero on the right side. Johnson, away from danger. Takes it in on the right side, his zone entry. Virgili to the left for Russell. Rock Lobsters are heading to the power play. So right when the Rock Lobsters have had this long sustained pressure of 5+ minutes in this third period, they'll have a chance to really make the River Dragons pay. Coming up after this commercial break, we're heading back to the Paloma Park power play. A chance here to thank some friends of the broadcast. A reminder that this broadcast of the Athens Rock Lobsters is brought to you by Piedmont Athens Regional. Real change lives here. Akins Ford is the largest Ford dealership in Georgia. If you're going to trust anyone, why not trust the biggest and the best? Stanfield Air Systems, we've spent the last 50 years fulfilling Athens' HVAC needs. First American Bank and Trust, we specialize in you. And Terrapin Beer Company, do the right thing always. Also have a chance to thank some more friends of the show. Athens Area Urology. You're in good hands with Athens Area Urology. Plumber Pro, Hospitality South, Athens Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Classic City Flats, the home of the Rock Lobsters, Harmon Enterprises, Roto-Rooter, Aero Exterminators, Northeast Distributing Company, Aegis Trust Company, De Palma's Italian Cafe, Leslie Jones Law, Porterhouse Grill, Farm Burger, Fox's Pizza, and the sponsors of our 3 Stars of the Night, 23 Design.
Mateen, I got to ask you a question. Did you come up with the urology tagline?
No, I didn't. Actually, you could see it on the boards over there, right in front of the Columbus bench.
I want to give a lot of credit whoever came up with that, because I almost broke out laughing up here next to you.
It was a marketing brain much smarter than mine, Bryce. Case and Gallant on the right side. Already 20 seconds shaved off by Columbus on this Rock Lobster power play, but Virgili with an explorative foray. He gets taken to the end boards by Jemayev. Cleared out by Columbus. Virgili, good reception of the puck for him. Gallant trying to keep that puck in the zone. He'll only be able to do that for some time. Took a deflection as it enters the first row right behind the penalty box.
That penalty, by the way, Mateen, on Hugh Anderson, 2 minutes for slashing.
Hugh Anderson, a 25-year-old from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And also had some time with the Macon Mayhem this season. Picard taking the draw here. Steve Martinson going with his second unit on the power play. Looks like we've got a timeout here. Not sure who it's being called by. Might be Steve Martinson. We'll see if he tries to get his top unit back out on the ice. We'll go to a commercial break. Still some power play time left for the Rock Lobsters. They've got more than half of it left. Can they put this game to bed? They're up 4-2 against their in-state rival with 13:52 to go in regulation. Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. Bryce, it looks like our thought that Steve Martinson took the time off to get his first unit some rest before coming back onto the ice was correct.
Yeah, I think that's a smart decision there with the team. Try and get your top guys on, get them rested up, try and get them to go again with a minute left on the power play.
Face off all the way back towards Rosenzweig. Picked back up by Athens. Shinkarik. Almost seemingly with eyes to the back of his head. He takes a high stick, still takes the puck to the crease. Carter Shinkarik, what he's able to do with the puck. Columbus had no choice but to try and stick him in the face to stop his burst towards the Columbus net.
Great move there by Carter Shinkarik. He was able to get around one, then got around the second. And Doherty was trying to lift the stick, missed the stick, ended up catching Carter Shinkarik, the captain, right in the nose. And we'll see if it's going to be 2 or 4. Shinkarik going to the bench. And it is going to be a 4-minute power play here, Mateen. They did draw blood on that high stick.
Checking for blood on Shinkarik results in a 4-minute penalty against Scott Doherty. And The Rock Lobsters, the last time they traveled to Columbus in this all-time series, they had a lot of opportunities 5-on-3, and Columbus did a very good job at stopping most of them, if not all of them. Steve Martinson said that he's going to try and put 2 players on the net front, and right out of that, Kirk Underwood with an opportunity to make something happen, shorthanded 5-on-3, but have the River Dragons committed too many numbers forward. Garrett Milan back to Weisblatt. Weisblatt into the slot. Good work with a stick from Underwood. Hand pass from Virgili to Weisblatt. That causes the whistle.
Yeah, that was a great play there by Kirk Underwood, the captain for this River Dragons team. Weisblatt took a step towards the slot, had it wide open, and at the last second, Underwood got a stick in there, stick on stick, able to put the puck high and deflected it wide. A great stop there, but still 18 seconds remaining on this 5-on-3 opportunity for Athens.
Rock Lobsters will look for a quick way to set up shop that they can take from the 5-on-3 into the 5-on-4. A golden opportunity for $3 tacos here on the Paloma Park power play. Milan feeds Shinkarik. His slapper goes wide right. They'll try it again. Pad save. Gallant off the bar. Trickles back. Gallant. That one's in. The second time's the charm for Kaysen Gallant. And the Rock Lobster, who leads this team with power play goals, has his 7th PBG of the year. And the Rock Lobster fans have their $3 tacos during the Fan Saves app at Paloma Park.
They were persistent. They did not go away. Carter Shinkarik had 2 cracks at it to try and get it in the net. He couldn't do it, but it was Gallant standing net side as that puck was batted around and around and around, finally able to slot it home, similar to how the River Dragons scored their second goal. Athens does the same, and right now have a 5-2 lead.
There's some questions here, I think, Bryce, on what happened first with the penalty and the goal. The question is did the person that was in the box for the 5-on-3 get out of the box in enough time before the goal was scored? So the question that will be asked is, if there was only one person in the box with 3.5 minutes of power play time remaining, his time will get cut down to 2 minutes. If not, if there was still 2 people in the box, they get to keep that 3+ minutes of power play time.
Correct, and that's what that discussion is right now. And as of now on the board, it is marked down as 2 minutes remaining on the power play. And I believe it's going to stand that way as some 5-on-4 action. But Mateen, you explained it very well.
The River Dragons feeling like they probably just want to go home right now. They have conceded at this point 21 goals in their last 3 games now. A team with a performance as of late that is not befitting their title from last season as the FPHL regular season champions.
A lot of factors go into that, Mateen. You got a lot of guys sick. Your head coach now isn't here. You go today with a massive hit there on Malik Johnson on a hip check.
They're calling that a trip, and Sleheka fires that at Kolatarsi in disgust. He'll be heading to the box on the trip, and we'll have another minute 36 of 5-on-3.
I don't like that call there, Mateen. I thought that was just a clean hip check on Malik Johnson as he was trying to skate around.
Yeah, I don't think that I like it much either, Bryce. And they threw up the X.
I think they're going to call it as an interference call instead of a trip. We'll see what the announcement is here in Arena. But as he was going to the box, he slammed his stick against the glass. Brought the Rock Lobsters fans on this near side to their feet, trying to maybe get an extra 2 minutes tacked onto that, but nonetheless, another 5-on-3 opportunity here for Athens, and they win the draw.
Carter Shinkarik has that come in behind him. Storjahan in a foot race with Carter Shinkarik. Not the first race that Carter Shinkarik has won today. Garrett Milan enters on the right side. Bank pass off the end boards. Case and Gallant picks it back up. Shifted back to Shinkarik at the line. And we're having another penalty here against Columbus.
I believe that one's going to be a slashing call. So right now, Mateen, we got 3 Columbus River Dragons in the box, 3 River Dragons on the ice.
Oh, my goodness.
And 9 River Dragons left on their bench.
Thinking Columbus is wishing that there was some sort of mercy rule and they can go back to Columbus home early, especially with the late night, already 11:17 p.m. Milan back to Shinkarik. Gallant to Milan. Virgili. Shinkarik with a laser pad save, Bernard. It's feeling like a drill here at this point, Bryce.
Trying to practice the 5-on-3. It's great practice here. Real game situation, 5-on-3 for the next couple minutes.
Shot from Milan from the right side. I think Virgili had some hand in blocking that on his partner. Shinkarik. Milan right in the middle of the blue line. Case and Gallant got a tip of that one, but nothing to direct it towards Bernard. Bernard watched the slapper from Milan the whole way into his glove. Got to give Columbus credit here, Bryce. They're working on their 3-on-5 penalty kill right now, and it's looking good thus far.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job defending it. It looks like they're trying to force everything to the outside, but by doing that, they're giving Carter Shinkarik the opportunity to roam around the zone like we saw in the Rock Lobsters' very first power play where he was just skating and dancing around. Which, by the way, is he not fun to watch in person or what? If you had not had the opportunity to see Carter Shinkarik in person, I highly recommend you get out and do so.
He's definitely worth the ticket, and Picard brings down Lind on the trip. And now we're starting to get into the gray area, Bryce, of what happens rules-wise now. Because there are 3 River Dragons in the box. The Rock Lobsters will have one of their own in the sin bin.
Picard not happy with the tripping call, but it will be a 4-on-3. Another Rock Lobster goes to the box, it will be 3-on-3. If I'm not mistaken, if another River Dragon goes to the box, it will still be 3-on-3. Athens with 1 too many right now.
Garrett Milan says, Garrett Milan is disappointed that he has to return to the bench. Braden Picard with the tripping penalty. Having some issues here with the clock as we see the shot from Joe Kolatarsi saved by Bernard. Rock Lobsters living in the limelight tonight, and they're making the most of it. Up 5-2, and Columbus continuing to get into some penalty trouble, but the Rock Lobsters help them out with a penalty of their own.
You know, Mateen, Tom asked us before, who's the broadcaster standing right next to us, when's the coffee cart coming around? We're approaching the time. I'm starting to wonder the same thing. Approaching 11:30 Eastern time.
You know, I have ADD, and I've heard that when you have ADD, that caffeine does nothing to you. And I feel like I kind of believe that. Ooh, look at Garrett Milan speeding through like a bumblebee into the River Dragon zone. Joe Kolatarsi backhanded back to Michael Greco. Garrett Milan just woke us all up here, Bryce.
We'll take whatever caffeine boost we can get, even if it doesn't work on you.
Meanwhile, Ryan Galvin trying to galvanize Columbus. Pass off the end boards to his teammate. Rosenswag stops it for Greco, and now we're at 4-on-4. Carter Shinkarik. Once again, Bryce, you talked about how Carter Shinkarik is worth the price of admission to watch him play.
Absolutely.
A little wipe out there from Philip Virgili, Underwood coming away from it. Russell picks it up, sends it back, but Columbus has the puck back in their possession in neutral zone. Jemayev in front of his own bench. Dunford trying to help it onto the stick of Somero. Kaysen Gallant, who's already scored in this game. Bernard had left his crease early to try and intercept that pass. Gallant has it back in behind, and his pass splits the tide. Glukariov with a slapper wide to the right.
Picard out of the box. So still a power play here for Athens. Snap twig.
Glukariov breaks the stick. 7 seconds left of Rock Lobster power play. Picard drops it for Weisblad, who steps on the brakes. Left circle shot, glove save Bernard. And with that being the case, we are finally back to skating 5-a-side, and we'll go to a commercial break. The Rock Lobsters trying to put the punctuation mark on this game. They're currently up 5-2. Can they close it out?
Since 1968, we've been your trusted source for home comfort. From then to now, we've evolved, but our commitment to your comfort remains unchanged. Experience the expertise that only decades of dedicated service can provide. Trust Stanfield. We've been keeping homes comfortable for over 50 years. Your comfort, our legacy. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. You know, even with a 4-2 scoreline earlier in this game, Bryce, it felt like a very even competition, but we're not feeling that same way in the third period.
Yeah, only one shot on goal for the River Dragons here so far in this third. With only 8 minutes and 41 seconds remaining, they're going to have to get something going right now if they want to try and spark a comeback. But Athens has done a good job of shutting down any offensive opportunities that Columbus has had so far in this third period.
The Rock Lobsters have had good defensive presence on their own blue line and have prevented a lot of clean zone entries from Columbus in this game. Ooh, a big hit right at center ice, and Brandon Reller feeling the effects of that. Portillo challenging Moore out of it. Brandon Reller with a pushback of his own against Moore. Play is still resuming here. And then River Dragons score. Unbelievable how everything just occurred there. Brandon Reller was left down on the ice. Causes calamity right in the neutral zone. Columbus come out of it. They take it to Rosenzweig's net, put it in to draw them within 2.
And we're going to have a penalty here on Kyle Moore. It was weird. It was a 4-on-5 basically for Columbus in the offensive zone when that goal was scored. Moore was at center ice getting pushed around and was standing there palms to the sky asking the officials for a penalty, claiming cross-check. And I guess he said one word too much and ended up getting himself an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, talking back to the officials, and that will be the reason why we both have a goal and a Columbus penalty. So the Rock Lobsters head back to the power play, but they need to be careful as now Columbus is within 2 goals with 8 minutes left in this game. Ooh, Weisblad with a great move, but the puck leaked back out over the blue line before that move, and now clock stops at 7:57. Checking the Federal Hockey scoring summary, it's Ryan Hunter that gets credited for the goal at the 11:55 mark. Nolan Slehetka with the helper. Shinkarik. Weisblad at the line. Shinkarik into the circle. End-board pass towards Kaysen Gallant. Virgili jousting with Lind for the puck. Jemayev takes a heavy hit from Weisblad. Virgili. Puck pops up and out of the zone by Jemayev.
Mateen, I know this game has been physical since this puck drop of the first period, but I wouldn't be surprised if the physicality ramps up even more. Trying to get Columbus back into this game, down only 2 now with plenty of time remaining.
Credit to both these teams with how much gas they still have in the tank, as it is 11:27 here right now in the building. Good stick work from Columbus in their own zone. And it might turn into a potential breakaway here. Storjahan tries to take it to the right of the slot, gets impeded by Shinkarik and can't get the shot off. Good defensive work by Captain Fantastic.
Very close to getting his stick into his hands. Did a nice job of only getting the stick, and now the other way.
Kaysen Gallant, oh my God! The Red Deer rocket out of nothing takes it into the Columbus zone and buries it past Bernard. Is that the dagger for Columbus?
What a shot from Gallant. And it's similar to the one Reller had earlier on, where if you weren't looking away for a second, or if you were looking away for a second, you're going to miss it. Off the post, maybe off the bar and in. Another power play goal here for this Athens team, as Reller and Moore need to be separated here as this puck's about to be dropped.
We saw the play between those two earlier on, and meanwhile the Red Deer rocket has scored to make it 6-3. That is his second power play goal of the night, and that puts him on 8 on the season. He leads all Rock Lobsters with power play goals. It also marks 20 on the season total for him. And Brandon Reller is looking like a man who wants a little bit of revenge on the ice right now, Bryce.
Just looking to see if Kyle Moore wants to maybe tango one last time and off the night. But I don't think Kyle Moore wants anything to do with the 6'4" forward. Moore standing at 6 foot, so a 4-inch advantage there for Reller.
Currently on the scoring summary as a solo goal for Kaysen Gallant.
And that was a great response by Gallant. Exactly what he needed to do, as there's a save by Bernard. But right after Athens allows a weird goal, they get the chance to go on the power play. He scores, gets the lead back extended to 3, and puts a little bit more of a cushion back in Athens' favor.
A lot of accolades for Kaysen Gallant, his 8th power play goal of the year, his 20th total, and now he's also one away from becoming the only Rock Lobster to score potentially 2 hat tricks this year. Of course, he scored a quick one in just about 5 minutes. Did he score a hat trick in Monroe, Louisiana about 3 or 4 weeks ago? Bernard stops it for Slahetka. Underwood to the right. Greco picks it up. Columbus playing a lot more sloppily now, looking like a team that has had a lot of travel over the last week. Underwood picks it up at the line. Rock Lobsters turn it over on Columbus. Here's Gallant. Gallant looking for the hat trick, but he has Johnson to his right. Steps on the brakes. Gallant, save from Bernard. Gallant got everything right but the finish. Sends it off the far boards, picked up by Greco. Greco knows Johnson's there. Bernard with a good save, using that big body to his advantage. About 5 minutes left in this game. Kolatarsi. Reller. Left circle shot, good save from Bernard. Very similar to the opportunity that Reller scored early on this game to make it 2-1. How much stuff has changed now. Rock Lobsters up 6-3, trying to end this game. We'll be back after this commercial break. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
This game is sort of lumbering towards its end now, Bryce. About less than 5 minutes to go. Rock Lobsters with a 6-3 lead. Case and Gallant on the search for that hat trick.
Yeah, and Athens has really just had a solid game plan. They got out early, scored the first, gave up one, but instantly responded with Reller, and they have not looked back since. Columbus has tried to generate momentum, but Athens has not allowed that to happen. And now their Rock Lobsters just going to try and close out these final 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
Rosenzweig asks for the icing, but Hunter beats it out, backhanded right into the side netting of Rosenzweig's net. Lukaryov helps it onto the stick of Weisblatt, who has Milan to his left. He enters the zone with speed, tries to take it to the net himself. Milan can't broom it in. Weisblatt takes a heavy check, bounces off of it, still has the puck. Robertson into the side netting. Looks like the whistle will blow and the faceoff will happen to the right of Bernard. I'm not sure if the confusion here, Bryce, was because the goal light had come on.
Yeah, I saw the goal light come on. It looked like the referee just pointed to it, but I'm not going to confirm nor deny that that was the reason. It was a tough angle shot there for Riley Robertson. Almost had it, but instead skimmed off the side of the net, fooled whoever's controlling the goal lights. Gets a stoppage of play.
Seemed a very, very clear no goal. And I don't think there's any debate about that on the ice. And how about this? It's a work of art, isn't it?
I pointed that out to you earlier. It got taken down. Now it's back up. Impressive stuff here from the crowd in Athens at 11:34 at night. Good for them.
Thanks to the Athens Rock Lobster fans who have stuck with us here, both on the broadcast and here in Akins Ford Arena as the clock reads 11:34 p.m. And that statuesque stack of beer cans has been blown down by the check in the corner. McDonald. Ooh, that one bounces up almost favorably for Dunford. Rock Lobsters able to control. Shinkarik trickles the puck in for an offside. .351 left in this third period. And look at the shot on goal tally. I don't know if this is a mistake or if it's really grown that quickly. It now reads 48-28 in favor of Athens.
Mateen, I'm telling you, that's how dominant this third period has been for the Rock Lobsters. Only 2 shots on goal this period for the Columbus River Dragons. It has been all Athens so far in this third.
Ooh, and there's another shot on goal. Rosenzweig sprawls to his left to deprive the River Dragons of being able to easily pounce on that rebound.
Still doesn't have a stick as the puck gets cleared out.
He gets some help from Joe Colatarsi. Case Gallant sent himself on a journey with the puck. I think no doubt he's got the hat trick on his mind. Case Gallant scored the second hat trick in team history, and he's looking to log the third. Picard gets kicked out of the faceoff. Lind out of the draw. Toe drag on the right circle. Joe Colatarsi cuts it out. Reller stops it with the skate. Back around the end boards for Colatarsi. Up around for Gallant. Gallant has Picard ahead of him, who helps it onto the stick of Reller. The youngins on the ice, and Reller with a long-range shot that somehow finds a way past Bernard and almost trickled in to the back of the net.
That puck was moving so slowly towards the goal line and ended up trickling wide. A break for Bernardus. That puck and that shot from Reller ended up squeaking through his blocker side. Columbus lucky it's not 7, but Mateen, the 49th shot on net unofficially for Athens tonight.
You have to think that one was going in if the ice was freshly Zambonied. Meanwhile, Bernard is trying to avoid giving up 7 goals in his second straight appearance. He gave up 7 on 30 shots versus Bingo on Friday. He was then pulled for Matt Petesian. Underwood, up the right. Brian Moore, not to be confused by his twin brother Kyle. River Dragons, looking for another one late, and the net is pushed off its moorings. Josh Rosenzweig has to hold back Justin Portillo.
Just trying to keep it smart here with 2:23 remaining. Don't want any suspensions or stupid penalties and garbage time hockey.
I was just going to say it was very brave. I wouldn't hold back Portillo from anything just out of fear of my own safety. That's Justin Portillo, 2 fantastic fight performances this past weekend. And I'm sure 2 Baton Rouge Zydeco still have some frozen peas on their face thinking about Justin Portillo.
You showed me those 2 videos of his 2 fights recently, and I had seen one of them, but I hadn't seen the other. My goodness.
Goalie getting pulled here, so Columbus has the extra attacker now in search of a goal. 2 minutes left.
See if Gallant can finish off the hat trick if he gets on the ice. There he is.
Austin Doe. Brian Moore in the corner. Kason Gallant pokes it away from Columbus. It's stopped by the skate of Jemayev. Looked like it had the right trajectory too, Bryce.
We'll see if the Rock Lobsters try and force feed him the puck.
Looked like that's where Johnson was trying to go with it. Meanwhile, Ryan Hunter on the left side. Rosenzweig pokes away the rebound. Doherty from long range was looking for the tip. He never found it. Columbus working out of the corner. Shot from McDonald goes wide. Johnson fighting for the puck. Sent a long ways away. Oh, it's off the bar. The post depriving the Rock Lobsters from the empty net goal.
Cannot get much closer than that.
And now Carter Shinkarik will be going to the box. Delaying the inevitable here. Columbus will try to win the draw in the offensive zone with a 2-skater advantage, one from the empty net and one from the power play.
Gallant is not going to stay on the ice for this penalty kill, at least not at the start of it. Well, no, he will not be on the ice. It'll be a timeout taken here by Columbus, which again, as you mentioned, Mateen, delaying the inevitable.
And it gives us a chance, Bryce, to kind of take the fans through the game thus far. Rock Lobsters with a lightning start through Daniil Glukarov, who scored in the first 59 seconds of the game. But just 20 seconds later, Kyle Moore was able to answer for Columbus. Then 3 unanswered goals for the Rock Lobsters. Brandon Reller with an absolute laser. Garrett Milan became Super Milan once again 54 seconds into the second period. And then at the 2:27 mark of the middle period, Brandon Picard got in on the action. Scott Doherty was able to pull one back, getting one into the top shelf past Josh Rosenzweig to make it a 2-goal game. But Kason Gallant felt like he scored the dagger at 5-2 to make sure that the spoils were going to go the way of the Rock Lobsters on the power play. But Ryan Hunter had something to say. 11:55 mark of the third period. He scores out of that scrum that came at center ice to make it 5-3. But Kason Gallant on another power play goal. He now has 20 on the season, 8 power play goals on the year, and he is in line to become the first star tonight.
You know, Mateen, this is my first time getting to see the Rock Lobsters in person, and I can just say I am very excited to see this building full. I mean, it is a party right now with all of these fans in here at 11:41 at night, all having a good time, having some fun. And I can't imagine the atmosphere in here whenever it's packed out.
Sorry about that, Bryce. Referee's trying to figure out a clock issue here on the scoreboard, and Bryce will be here next Wednesday. He'll be the lone man in the chair to take on power play duties for a rematch of this very contest, the Rock Lobsters against the River Dragons. And maybe the River Dragons are feeling hard done by here, Bryce. Maybe they feel like if they can have a better travel situation coming back to Athens next Wednesday, it might be a different story. And it's, hard not to disagree with them to some extent.
Yeah, and it's hard. Whenever your bus breaks down, you're stranded on the side of the road for hours on end, waiting and trying to decide, are you actually going to be able to get there, get to Athens, or get wherever you're going. They made it. Got to give them credit for playing through all the illness and travel issues they had. But tonight was not their night, and it will belong to the Rock Lobsters.
Oh, and River Dragons have a goal back. But it's played by a high stick, so no goal for Columbus. Just when they think they have something to celebrate, a clear symbol there from the referee that the goal won't count.
I almost had the broadcaster's curse there. Thankfully, the referees had my side.
He's very, very happy to have Bryce Gobert join me here in the press box tonight.
I've been reading all y'all chats. I appreciate all the positive messages that y'all have been leaving. I am very excited to be back next Wednesday. I will also have the call, not this weekend, but the following weekend on the 13th or 14th and 15th, I believe it is.
Yeah, Bryce will have the Friday and Saturday games in Danville being called remotely. I will take his spot Sunday. And then I put Bryce back in the supply closet for some time. Meanwhile, Garrett Milan just fires wide.
Sometime in March, I'll be back.
Rock Lobsters are on the penalty kill, so no icing there. Columbus into the right-hand corner. Robertson takes Hunter into the box. Gallant with a backhander looking for the hat trick, but time will expire before it ever reaches the red line, and it was going to the right of the net. And look at the energy there from Josh Rosenzweig. There were a lot of times where he didn't look his very best, and I'm not talking about the quality of his play, Bryce. I'm talking about his physical appearance. It felt like he was maybe nursing something, but he gets the job done, the reigning FPHL goaltender of the month.
Gets the celebration, gets the job done, allowing 3 goals on 30 shots unofficially. A great night for Josh Rosenzweig, and exactly the kind of performance you needed there if you're Athens. Continue the hard playing, hard fought matchups that you're going to continue to get. I mean, being their first year of being a team, teams are going to want to make a statement and show, hey, who's boss? Athens has done a great job this season now with 23 wins, continuing to show they're the hottest thing that is coming up here in the FPHL.
Yep, Rock Lobsters move to 23-4-2. And with that, they now move into the lone spot in second place in the Continental Division. With that, they go and leapfrog the Baton Rouge Zydeco. They're now on 62 points over Baton Rouge's 60. And meanwhile, Baton Rouge has played 6 more games.
First year in the league, what an impressive season. The organization has done a great job building this team. Have to give a massive shout out to head coach Steve Martinson and all these Rock Lobsters players. It's not easy being a startup team, but they have taken on this challenge, and they are taking it on with pride and have shown that night in and night out.
We already took you through the scoring summary. The Rock Lobsters return here next Wednesday to take on the Columbus River Dragons once again in a rematch at 7:05 p.m. Now all that is left is to see who are the 3 stars of the night.
If I had to guess one, I'm going to say Gallant's going to be one of them.
Jason Gallant, of course, with a 2-goal, 1-assist game. Looks like there will potentially be a Columbus player that draws his way into the 3 stars of the night. Which I like to see, Bryce, because I don't want people to look at Akins Ford Arena and see that all 3 stars are Rock Lobsters. You see that in a lot of the barns here in this league.
Yeah, and it's nice. I mean, let's be honest. It's not always the 3 best player, the 3 players on a winning team that had a great game. There's some players on the visiting teams that need to get credit for what they did, and glad to see that might be the case here tonight. We will find out. I believe the 3rd star was Weisblatt.
Orca Weisblatt with a 3rd star. And I think this is a clerical error here. I believe it was supposed to be number 88 for Columbus, Bryce. Ryan Hunter, who had a goal and 2 assists.
That would make sense.
Orca Weisblatt with a heavy checking game, but only had an assist to his name tonight. Meanwhile, Brandon Picard with a goal and an assist is the 2nd star of the night. And you mentioned it, Bryce. Coming out through that tunnel, Kaysen Gallant, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of happy Rock Lobsters in the chat throwing up some claws for Kaysen Gallant. What a night for him, Bryce. He now has 20 goals on the year, 8 power play goals, and with his 3-point night now has 35 points in his campaign.
Yeah, he's just continuing to build on an impressive season. Gallant has been fantastic for Athens, and tonight was no different. He did exactly what his team needed him to do, put 2 behind the goaltender tonight and Bernard, and was able to help lead his team to a 6-3 victory.
Kaysen Gallant getting interviewed on the ice after his strong night on the ice, and hopefully you at home haven't woken up your children from all the goal calls here at Akins Ford Arena. Mattine Red, on behalf of Bryce Gobert, we say so long from Akins Ford, the Lobster Tank, where the Rock Lobsters defeat in-state rival, the Columbus River Dragons, 6-3. You'll see Bryce Gobert on the broadcast here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network next Wednesday as the Rock Lobsters take on the Columbus